Still I ask myself, are we am I? Our game is not logical, but you contemplate, are we am I? I think it's sane, I think it's logical. What I don't you find? Are we am I? As time goes by, I'll be a slip away. Should I do you mind? Are we am I? I'm fighting for love, fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love, fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. This is a way that I still play. Tell me why you lied to me. Fighting for love, fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love, fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. Fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love, fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love, fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving to all of our American listeners and viewers, and whatever it is, however you're getting this. By the way, I'm not gonna lie. It's the Adam Wylde flu game today. I'm struggling. I slept most of this afternoon after we did the SDP because I'm just not having a good time. And this is me opening up a Buckley's, trying to stay alive. Oh, and I just fired it across the room. Hang on one second. Hi. So you know what happened today? Jesse Blake stayed late. He's still here. He's downstairs and he set up a brand new camera. So I come through to you. You can see all my pores now. And I got the headphone mic too because Jesse, remember Jesse was using this during the Blue Jays playoff? Well, now it's me. I'm pretty excited. I'm not going to lie. So this is going to be a little bit better too in terms of timing. Some of the times we've been doing this, the Sportsnet app or the TSN app, one's like 20 seconds ahead, one's 45 seconds behind, whatever. We're not doing that today. Today, we got cable. Jesse Blake got cable, everybody. And it's all Jesse. So I want to do a big shout out to him. It is the Bally Bet SDPN Friday night watch along with your host, Adam Wylde. We're going to do this again tomorrow night, too, with Steve Dangle. And I got Drew along producing. And Drew, who's doing the chat today? Is it Robert or is it Justin? Okay. So Justin is here, too. We got an all-star crew. My God. We get live odds are on the screen. So here's the thing. Toronto's a plus 138. I think that's Drew. That feels generous, considering how they're bad, or at least have been bad. Do you feel like that those are fair? Yeah, he said they should be plus 200. They've kind of sucked. Drew was actually meaner about it, but I'm being nice. We're going to get face off right here, right now. Yarncroke, Lawton, Lawrence to kick us off. And by the way, it looks like Dakota Joshua obviously back in the lineup. Good for him. And interestingly enough, William Nylander, who we were told yesterday was going to be just fine, is unfortunately not playing tonight. Don't know why, but here we go. Oh, and we got a goal already. Oh no, the ref's waving it off. Ref is waving it off. Thank goodness. My God. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't understand what the Leafs are doing with their injury situations. The Capitals, by the way, are claiming this as a goal. They're celebrating as if it's a goal. Let's have a look here. This would be very Leaf, by the way, to do this early. Beauvillier in on Wall, and then it goes through. Is that going to count? I think that's going to count. I don't see why that wouldn't be a goal, unless there was a really quick whistle on that. The refs are talking. I think this is going to be a goal, guys. Even if the ref blew the whistle, it still feels like a continuance sort of play. I can't imagine they're going to take this from the Capitals. Man, I got to tell you, I told you those odds were pretty generous to the Leafs. I feel like that's a goal, guys, and I don't want to get all negative and sad about it, but that looks like a goal to me. Can anybody in the chat tell me why that wouldn't be a goal? That doesn't make any sense. Wow. So they are going to review it. Ref did blow it off. There's got to be evidence that is basically you can't. There's no chance that it can be a goal, essentially. But I don't see any reason why that wouldn't. Now, was the puck? Was it a quick whistle on Wall? Was that what it was? So the question is, did the puck stop? Because the puck needs to stop for it not to be continuance. It does look like the puck stops here, and then Beauvillier is able to not. Oh no, it's Strome that knocks it in. The puck did stop. It might just be a quick whistle, and the Leafs might get away with one. Nice to know that Washington is awake and the Toronto Maple Leafs are not. It's only 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Here we go. It's going to be no goal. So it's no continuance. So is no goal. Wow. The Leafs absolutely. Did they get away with one? I would be so mad if I was a Caps fan right now. So they got a quick whistle on that. That's all that was. Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to give Drew a clap on the face. Drew wants the clap, everybody. Drew wants the clap. Here we go. 1939 into the first. If that had been a goal, the Leafs would be embarrassed, and rightly so. They didn't start all that great. They did not start that great at all. I'm kind of just I'm sort of surprised that because it makes them look bad that doesn't count. Like, you got to think about that, right? Like that makes them not look good. That's not a great look for the NHL. That might be one of those things where it's like, yeah, maybe change that rule. Maybe the ref was wrong to blow that. I don't know if, again, Caps fans, if you're mad, I get it. Austin Matthews wins the faceoff draw in the defensive zone. Nyes gets the puck across center ice, flips it in, and flips it out. Leaf lines today: Matthew Nyes, Austin Matthews, Nick Robertson back in the top 6. Remember, before Matthews and Nyes went down, Robertson was like 5-6 points in 5 or 6 games. He was looking really good in the top 6. Easton Cowan, John Tavares, and Bobby McMahon gets back into the top 6. The Tavares, Nylander, Cowan line was great. There's some sort of apparent illness for William Nylander. He was out yesterday on a quote-unquote maintenance day. But they made sure to say illness. So that to me says there's a flu bug going around, and that happens. I hope it's something like that, or maybe, he does get migraines from time to time. On the third line, by the way, it's going to be Matthias Michelli back in with Nicholas Watt and Dakota Joshua. Nick Watt is getting something like 75% of his faceoffs in the defensive zone. Oh, Robertson over to Matthews. Just hits a skate and goes wide. So Nick Waugh's numbers are taking a bit of a dive because he's had to basically carry a ton of defensive load with the Leafs this year. It also doesn't help, frankly, that the Leafs have just been not very good at creating offensive zone faceoffs. Like all of the centers look kind of bad in that scenario because most of the starts are in their zone. But Michelli Joshua is a whole lot different than McMahon and Robertson. That line didn't give him much last game. I was excited to see it. I didn't see much going on there. So Michelli and Joshua are back in there. And honestly, Lawton Lorentz Yarncrook, I really like that line. So no Max Domi and no William Nylander. And that's Max Domi's first healthy scratch of the season. Berube kind of mentioned, just like with Dakota Joshua, Dakota Joshua said, needs more. With Max Domi, he was saying that he needs to be more consistent. And, no disrespect here, but Max was playing center, and he's not a center. So I feel bad for him. I thought he had a good game against Columbus. Ryan Leonard, one of these rookies that Washington has just pulled out of nowhere. They've got so many great young players on this team. McMahon, Michelli, and Waugh. This is a first look at this line. I'm hoping that McMahon and Michelli, first off, I hope Michelli, that's Cowan. What am I saying? It's Dakota Joshua and Michelli. I'm hoping that Michelli specifically uses his speed a little bit more, just like Bobby McMahon did there, because honestly, you kind of get to the point with some of these guys where it's like, what do you do here? What exactly are you doing here? The Leafs defense, by the way, is the same. Riley, Ekman-Larsson, Benoit McCabe, Mermis, and Stetcher. On the Washington side, it's going to be Ovi, Dylan Strome, and Anthony Beauvillier. Alexi Protas, Justin Sordiff, and Tom Wilson, line 2. Brandon DeHame, Connor McMichael, and Ryan Leonard on line 3. And Milano, Lapierre, and Ethan Frank on the 4th line. Interesting, Hendrix Lapierre has played so many roles for this Capitals team. It's crazy. There was a point where he was, regularly their second-line center. They got a bunch of guys that can play a bunch of places. Useful is what you would call it. Here's Dakota Joshua, fresh off his healthy scratch. First time we're getting a look at this line. Joshua, Michelli, Waugh. Ekman-Larsson and Riley out there with him because, you kind of want to give them your best defense pair. Oh, Morgan Riley scores after being on the ice for the disallowed goal 20 seconds in. Morgan Riley just kind of throws a floater on net. It's the Leafs' first shot of the game. And it goes in. Okay. All right. Listen, that's Logan Thompson, Olympic hopeful. Hopefully nobody's watching that from the Olympic team. Logan Thompson's had a great year. So it starts with, this is a great start for this line. Interestingly, Robertson is out there. So it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson. If he gets an assist here, that really, oh yeah. That's great for my fantasy team. That's great I know nobody cares, but that's great for my fantasy team. We love that. Let's go. Good start. Man, the Leafs have a horseshoe up their bottom today. Goal that should have been a goal disallowed. Goal that shouldn't have been a goal just beats the goalie. Oh, we got a nice little steal. Nick Robertson already looks alive here. Matthews gets tripped up a little bit. Tom Wilson corrals. Robertson has got some wheels today. Hopefully, this first line can get things going. I think Austin and Matthew Nyes, they had a couple of chances. I thought Austin was great in overtime. I thought Matthew Nyes almost had a goal when that puck squeaked behind Jet Greaves on Wednesday night. It would be really nice to see them get a goal. I think that'd be a monkey off all of their backs, and I think Nick Robertson wants to stay here. Wouldn't you? If, a couple years in a row, you've made a trade request, you've signed one-year contracts, and by the way, the new live odds are up. The Leafs at a negative 129 and Washington at a plus 102. Again, Drew, the Leafs have one shot. I think those odds are pretty favorable for the Leafs, oddly enough. Bally Bet, SDPN, Friday night stream. It's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody tuning in. And if you are a Washington Capitals fan, welcome. 15:31 left in the first period. Riley Ekman-Larsson, responsible for the goals and boosting my fantasy team. God bless him. McMahon, Robertson, and Cowan. Cowan had that huge tying goal last game. And what a What a stud. He's looked really, really good. And Steve keeps saying he leads the team in almost goals. Finally, one of them went in. Hopefully, he starts to score in bunches. Everybody that I've talked to who actually used to play him in junior, obviously we had that relationship with the Oshawa Generals. Somebody in that organization told me the last weekend that they said once he starts scoring for the Leafs, he's going to score like he did against us. And the quote was, "In bunches." Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I'm going to share this link on Twitter. I realized I haven't done that yet. Should probably tell everybody that I'm doing this, right? Anyway, I got to tell you, I'm perplexed by this start. I hope that the luck continues. So Nick Robertson, underratedly there, does a great job moving Jake Chychrun or getting in the way of Jake Chychrun, who gets in the way of Logan Thompson. We'll take it. All right. I'm just tweeting this out. I'm home. I'm live. Are you even home from work yet? It's kind of a weird one, right? 5:00 in the afternoon. Lots of football yesterday. Drew, are the Chiefs going to make the playoffs? Okay, they're going to make play. They are 6-6 now, losing to the Cowboys. You don't think they're going to lose again this season? Oh, I guess they got a soft schedule. Listen. It's amazing to see dominant teams like them. It's also kind of fun to see them not be dominant anymore. Not Ryan says, Adam, who are the figurines behind you there? Those there's plenty of them. They're all Steve Dangle's figurines, by the way. He's like, listen, I've got a bunch of extra crap, and here you can have it. There is a Ed Belfour goalie, a Alexander McGillney figurine, a Matt Sundin figurine. We got Marty Brodeur over here. So that's your Eddie Belfour. We got a Grant Fuhr right here. There's a Max Verstappen right here, along with a 3D printed F1 tire. The Austin Matthews books there. There's plenty of stuff. It's all Steve's. You know it's all Steve's. All right. Drew needs a clap. 14:22. I think I probably forgot last time. Here we go. There we go. Wasn't a great clap, Drew, but I hope you got it. Oh, McMichael with a great play in, and he had Joseph Wall down, and his head is almost in his hands. Ooh, that's the other. Well, it was Sordif, actually. What happened there? Oh, he just hit the post. Oh, my God. He had Wall right where he wanted him. Wow. Arms were up. Man, that's one of those things, man. That reminds me of Easton Cowan every time he gets in close. Benoit corrals behind the net. Washington has been pushing all period. If you're just tuning in, the Toronto Maple Leafs, yes, surprisingly enough, are getting outplayed. They're a little slow. It's a problem. I'm actually surprised that in any trade rumors that have come up, speed has not been a thing Toronto feels is a problem. Berube was saying that a few weeks ago that part of the reason they look slow is they're not playing their system properly, which makes them look slow. I don't know that that's totally the case. I think I look at the Colorado Avalanche and I'm like, I think overall those guys could beat the Leafs in a foot speed race. I think it might just be that they're slow. Yarncroak makes the pass up to Lawton, who's going to dump it deep, get it changed. Sedin Magic 15 dropping 10 SDPN memberships. Thank you, Sedin Magic 15. We love you. And remember, VIP, new episode came out today. So if you're getting a free membership, you get a free extra episode, and consider upgrading to VIP ad-free, because that'll get you ad-free episodes of the Steve Dangle podcast. They come out earlier than the normal episode, and you get every episode ad-free plus VIP every single month for $6.99. So everybody, hey, anybody that got that free membership, make sure you give them a big thank you and give it a shot. You can watch all the VIP episodes. They were this week's was fun. Something about Campbell's and 3D printed meat. Maybe you've seen that story. Oh, nice play out front. Sordif missed again. Troy Stetcher gets the puck out, bounces it off the board. Joshua's going to give chase here. Joshua fresh off a healthy scratch. You know, this is a guy I think we do forget. He was scratched in Vancouver with Rick Tocchet. And he had a great season under Rick Tocchet. But, you know, there's sometimes you need people need a wake-up call. And Berube said, needs to give more. And, you know, it's interesting. Dakota Joshua agreed with him. At least they're on the same page. Woo! Leafs are just a total tire fire in front of their own net right now. Ryan Leonard stripped of the puck to Morgan Riley, the goal scorer. Or sorry, that's Bobby McMahon. Cowan across center to McMahon. Puck is gently tapped in. Chychrun retrieves. Cowan lays the body. Tavares to Benoit. Benoit misses it at the blue line. Leafs come back. We're going to get a change here. It would appear that it is the Nick Robertson, Matthews, and Nyes line that's going to try to get out there. Jake McCabe is pinching right now, trying to allow time for that change to happen. Matthews is out there. Robertson has the puck stripped. It's moved up. Puck deep in the Leaf zone, played by Joseph Wall. Over to Jake McCabe. Ooh, gets a nice little hit. One of the Caps finishing his check. Robertson behind the net. Passes it, and it's unfortunate. It was a good pass. It was just to the wrong jersey. Hendrix Lapierre. Deep, Nyes. Over to Matthews. Over to Robertson. To Troy Stetcher across the red line. And he gently passes that in. I don't think he was fully across the red line. Didn't want to ice it. Shots are currently 9-1 Washington, in case you're wondering how this game is going. And yet, the luck has been all the Leafs' way. There was a goal 21 seconds in that was called back. When you see the replay of this, if you didn't see it, boy, does it look like it should have been a goal. But the ref had a quick whistle on it. The puck stopped. And so it's not a continuance or whatever they call it. And then the Leafs scored about 4 minutes later, and that's been their only shot. One shot, and it's gone in. That's efficiency. I will say that. Sadidi Magic 15 says, "Hi, Gripper Nation. I can't stay. I'm in my FedEx truck between stops, but I wanted to pop in and say hi and leave a little gift." Sadidi Magic 15, we love you. We appreciate you, and thank you for being our Santa Claus and delivering those packages early. We appreciate you. 9:41 left in the first period. Hey, Drew, how's my mic? Is it okay? It's okay? Sound good to you? Okay. Just want to make sure. Sometimes it can be low. Nick Waugh on the new look third line here. He dumps the puck in. He's going to be playing. He's been playing with Matias Michelli and Dakota Joshua tonight. And those two guys were scratched last game. So I think Nick Waugh is babysitter / can you get these guys going for me? I don't know how much he appreciates that, but that's the role tonight. Leonard. Ekman Larson. Oh, bit of a weird play by Oliver Ekman Larson there, but he was able to get the puck back. It went right to a Capitals player in his skates. But that player, thankfully, was trying to change. Could have been dangerous. Tavares grabs the puck, gets it into Robertson, leaves the puck, shot to Nyes, and he just misses the net. Logan Thompson has not been tested but once, and he did let in that goal. Okay, some people are saying my mic's quiet. Some people are saying it's, I'm going to turn it up a little bit. How's that? Do you guys hear me a little bit better? How's that? La, 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 la. Hopefully that works. We just got, yeah, I mean, cranked? Okay. Yeah, so I mic is up a little bit more. Jesse put together the new setup today, so I'm actually like learning the whole new setup, and it looks pretty cool. Camera looks good. I like it. I'm excited. Logan Thompson plays the puck. Sandin. Listen, if you're a betting person, if you're going on Bally Bet today, Rasmus Sandin is up there for anytime points. Maybe you take that bet. Oh, what a save by Joseph Wall. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Had the Capitals got that rebound, I think we would have had a problem. And look, it looks like Scott Lawton is away on a breakaway. He's going to. Oh. Lawton with a great play. Plays at both end of the ice here. This is a little bit more of a wide open game than I've seen the Leafs play in a little while, mostly because they haven't had the talent in the lineup. Tyson Barnett, between the in-league player loan system, preseason being 3 weeks, completely abroad, and the President's Trophy being a parade and banner level achievement, what ideas from soccer would you see adopted into the NHL? Well, let's save that one for the next commercial break, and I'll get back to you. Joshua Wilson is able to turn around. You know, I got to say, Washington is so good at turning and reloading. Leafs get the puck across their line. Even if they dump it deep, ooh, big hit there. Washington are able to just grab it, reload, come back in. And that's why the shots are 10-2. Both chances for the Leafs that they've had 2 shots. One was a goal, one was an almost goal, breakaway by Scott Lawton. Other than that, though, not been good. Not been good. Oh, we got a giveaway. Oh, Strome tried to set up, I believe. Who was that? Oh, God, I can't even find it. All right, well, it was a good setup, and they just missed. Stetcher. McMahon. Blocked. Easton Cowan, John Tavares, Bobby McMahon. That's your second line, at least for tonight. By the way, the player that missed for the Capitals was Connor McMichael. I should know that. I did the Caps Canadian series last year, so I should know. Some of these numbers you forget, though. Caps are mostly the same. It's a damn good team. Farivari! Oh, great setup, but Choice Stetcher gets in the way. Austin Matthews retrieves, gets the puck. Cowan gets the puck up, tried to find Nick Robertson, but the puck kind of stopped up weirdly at the blue line, probably hit a patch of snow. 5:07 left in the first period. If you're a Caps fan, you're loving the way this started, man. You are loving the way this started. Strome across to Robertson. Nyes is going to get it. Nyes over across the ice to Riley. Yarncroke and Lawton out there. This is a fourth-line shot. Misses the net by Morgan Riley, who already has a goal tonight. Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Morgan Riley, very quietly, because the Leafs have been bad, are racking up a lot of points together this year. It's a lot more scoring from the Leafs defense than what they had last year, and it was something that the team identified as an issue this offseason. So they changed their systems. Oh, Morgan Riley with another shot there. Not sure it actually made the net. I think it deflected off a skate. And, you know, so far that part of it's worked. It's just that the rest of the hockey playing has not been great. And they got a bit with the injury bug. Nick Waugh in by himself, 1-on-4. Puck back. Dakota Joshua. Joshua stripped behind the net. Look, he threw a hit. Well, listen, what we're looking for from this line is a little bit of identity. You know, it goes back to what Sheldon Keefe said to Jimmy Vesey, fairly or unfairly, in the Amazon documentary. What exactly do you do here? Are you too vanilla? Those guys have been vanilla. Meme Empress, if Adam isn't burning my retinas, he's not bright enough. You guys don't like the brightness? Should I bring it down a little bit? I am very pale. That should be noted. Like, I'm a very pale man. Cowan with a shot, and it was a good one, and it broke Chychrun's stick. So the Leafs are out there with an advantage. Tavares out front. Stetcher tries to make a play. McMahon trying to make a play, gets a high stick to the face. That's not called. Tavares to Mermis to Tavares shot, and that misses the net. Oh, Cowan back on it. Chychrun still doesn't have a stick. Oh, and the Leafs are not able to fully take advantage. But it took 17 minutes of the first period, guys. But we finally got some offensive zone pressure from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hallelujah. And I think we're going to commercial break here, or maybe not. Usually we should. Oh, you can't go to break on icing. Thank you, Drew. I forgot about that. So we are owed a commercial break here. Don't worry, Tyson. When we get that commercial break, sir, I will get back to your question. Kind of a weird way that this whole period has ended. Like, we're just seeing the Scott Lawton breakaway now. Has not been a lot of chippiness. Been a relatively clean game. No calls, no penalties, which is weird for the Leafs. Usually they have a penalty called within the first 5 minutes. That's been a huge issue for them. Matthews, Nyes, Robertson out there for the offensive zone faceoff. Hey, they finally got one of those. How crazy is that? I got to say, for two guys that have missed a couple weeks, I liked Matthews and Nyes' game. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was like perfect against Columbus, but they missed 2.5 weeks. I'm not expecting perfect. It's just nice to have talented people back in the lineup, isn't it? All right. Doodad19, does Adam have a Movember link? I'm sure Justin could throw that in the chat. We're taking on Michael Pizzetta. So Steve and Jesse and I are trying to beat Michael Pizzetta in a... Oh, it's in the description too, by the way. So if you need it. Somebody in the chat said I have a face for radio. And I just think that that's a great compliment. Thank you. It's better than having a face for nothing. Okay. Another icing. That's 3 icings in a row that the Leafs have created here. That's not bad. Kind of like that. Need more of that in their life. Austin Matthews going to take this face-off again. Nyes and Robertson, Ekman-Larsson, and Riley out there. These are the guys you want for an ozone face-off. Ekman-Larsson floats one in. It goes off a stick, goes back out. Caps clear. They're finally going to get a change. 2:22 left in the second period. Riley dumps the puck in. Nyes gets held up. Ekman-Larsson tries to make a play. Caps intercept. This is what they've been so good at all afternoon. I want to say night. It is dark, but it's only 5:30. Yeah, I mean, the Caps are really, really good at stopping teams up at the blue line. They did it to Montreal in that first round series last year. And they got skunked in the second round. I understand that. But you know, there was a complete and total domination by the Caps on the very speedy and fun to watch Montreal Canadiens. And it's just smart veteran defense. You know, Toronto's given up in their assistant coaching department 2 pretty darn good coaches in the last couple of years. It's so funny, you know, they chase star power when it comes to coaching. And I'm not, that's not to denigrate Craig Berube. Puck out to the point. Murmis has got the shot in. Oh, and it's not in. It looked like it was in. Ref blows it off. I believe it hit the post, but it did beat Logan Thompson. Spencer Carberry and Lane Lambert, by the way. Lane Lambert's got those Seattle Kraken playing like a real hockey team. After 3 coaches in 3 years, he's the third. It was Dave Haxtell, former Leaf assistant coach. And then it was Dan Bilesma, who won a couple cups with the Penguins at the end of the 2010s. Or, sorry, the O's? They're not the 2010s. What was the 009 and whatever? Shot by the Caps. And then, yeah, so, you know, you lose Carberry, you lose Lane Lambert. At least they're a good place to be an assistant coach. Teams get, players get hired, coaches get hired. Riley at the blue line. He's got OEL down deep. There are 2 guys in front of the net, which is where they flippin' should be. Thank goodness. And this is Joshua Michelli, and Wah. Michelli and Lorentz are now fighting along the boards. Wah gives chase to Rasmus Sandin. Lorentz finishes his check, but the Capitals are going to break out. 4th line out there for the last 10 seconds, and this was a quick period. What time is it? 5:38. Jeez, that's crazy. We didn't get it. So Mike Johnston just said on the broadcast, no commercial breaks in the first period. There's too many icings. That's crazy. So there won't be much of an intermission show on TSN. They're going to have to make good on those commercials. So Tyson, I want to get to this before we play any clips here. Tyson Barnett asked, hey, between an in-league player loan system, preseason being 3 weeks and completely abroad, or the President's Trophy, parade, and banner level achievement, what ideas from soccer would you like to see adopted in the NHL? I like an in-season tournament. I know that I know some people think the NBA one is a little bit cheesy, but I think I like an in-season tournament. I like also the idea one day of I was reading an article this week, and this is kind of crazy, but the there used to be supersonic jets regularly crossing the ocean, right? And you used to be able to go from like New York to London in 3 hours. Uh, it looks like that technology is coming back. They were just never profitable. And the NFL is monitoring it. And this is why I bring this up, because the NFL is saying, listen, if those jets become commercially available, even if they're not commercially available, we'll buy them and we will extend the NFL into Europe. Because if it's only a 3-hour flight, then it's no difference from going from New York to LA and New York to London, right? It's not that big of a difference. And obviously, West Coast teams going to Europe is a bit of a pain in the ass, but you can imagine in the NFL that there'd be like a European division. And I'd really like to see that. And Alan Walsh has regularly said on Agent Provocateur that there will be teams in the NHL in Europe in our lifetime, and probably within the next 10, 12 years. Team in like Berlin, a team in Stockholm, a team in Paris. You can imagine one in Germany pretty easily. Switzerland would probably be a good place. So I'd like to see some sort of that go on. Now it's a little bit different because all the leagues are the same, but you notice with like there's like the club championships in European soccer where it's like, I won my local league and you won your local league and we're all going to play against each other. So you get like Real Madrid versus Manchester United, etc. You know what I mean? I'd like to see a little bit more of that. Yeah, I think an in-season tournament makes sense. It's just the question is always, and this goes back to this is entertainment in general. What's at stake, right? When you're making a YouTube video, what's at stake here? Why should people care? When we're watching a hockey game, what's at stake? Well, what's at stake is the hockey game. But how do you get players and fans to buy into a tournament like that and make it matter? And I don't really fully have the answers, but I got one answer that might help. A lot of money. What if everybody on the team got $1 million for winning? I think you'd see some fights. I think you'd see some good hockey. But it would require maybe the NHL reducing the regular season and making that tournament maybe make up for those games. And I think Gary's too old to consider an idea like that, but I'm hoping once he steps down and Bill Daly takes over, that there's a little bit more wriggle room to try something else, because, we're going to 84 games next year, and I feel like that's great. But for a lot of teams, the last month and a half of the season, they're out. And you're already looking at like prospect reports and thinking about the draft lottery at the end of April. I feel like we gotta judge. Maybe even the non-Olympic years. Maybe you do a Four Nations one year, you do an in-season tournament the next year, and then you do an Olympic, and then you do an in-season tournament, and then you do a Four Nations, right? Because Olympics every 4 years. I think Four Nations could be every 2 years in between. I don't know. Just a thought. Drew, what clip are we playing here, and how long is it? Do we have time? Beautiful. Okay, so let's go a little CJ show. CJ had dropped stuff. What's the specific? Do we have the specific rumor CJ's talking about, Drew? Oh, you got. So we're gonna preview the show for you. CJ and Julian are gonna take over, and I will see you back here at the beginning of the second period. So, what do we think about Jim Rutherford sending out a memo?
The Chris Johnston Show.
Let's go!
Your #1 destination for a behind-the-scenes look at the game of hockey.
Is this thing on?
Here's NHL insider Chris Johnston and host Julian McKenzie.
CJ, it's American Thanksgiving. Celebrations to everyone in the United States. Whoa, what? What is that?
Just
is that
celebrating for everyone who celebrates Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that a turkey noise? Like, what was that supposed to be?
A wounded turkey in the field.
I was like, it's the weirdest sounding turkey I've ever heard. Yes, happy American Thanksgiving to everyone in the United States. Happy Thursday to everyone else. I guess it's time for us to look at the standings, Siege, and see who should be in and who should be out.
Yeah, although I don't even want to cut you off at the pass, but I got to tell you something. We need to talk about this whole Thanksgiving thing.
We should talk about this,
but I'm not talking about Gravy Boats or Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys.
I was hoping we'd talk about Gravy Boats. I'm hungry.
I'm talking about this whole, you've heard this, and we've even sort of trotted it out. This like X amount of teams are in it on this date are going to make the playoffs in the NHL. Forget even that this season is close, and that is a factor also. Buddy, I did some math this morning.
Oh, you know he's serious when he says buddy. For those who are listening on audio, CJ has a double-sided sheet of notes and a lot of numbers, and I need you to explain them to me.
Podcasts don't lend themselves well to a lot of numbers, but I will say this. If you want the highest level takeaway, the stat that everyone trots out is misleading, because on any given Thanksgiving over the last, I went back to 2014-15, the first full season post the most recent NHL lockout. There's going to be teams like right now, Colorado and Dallas, right, which are so far ahead of the pack that I think both of you and I are probably comfortable saying the Avalanche and the Stars, they're making the playoffs. So
I think so, yeah.
So I don't think we need to do math on those teams, because when you have a 10-point cushion already in late November, you're going to be in. I think the math should really focus on the teams that are in by a small amount at Thanksgiving and how many of them convert the basically get into the playoffs. And by my math, meticulously done this morning with a morning coffee, 59.7% of teams that are inside the playoff window by 2 points or less at Thanksgiving make the playoffs in the last 10 plus years. So that's to say 6 out of 10 teams that are in that spot don't make or make the playoffs each year. 4 don't. Right now, we've got 10 teams in the league within 2 points of the playoffs. If you want to go up to teams within 4 points of the playoffs on this date or at this time, it's not always on November 27th, of course. 14 teams right now of the 16 playoff teams in the league are within 4 points of the cutoff line. Only 67% of those teams since 2014-15 have gone on to make the playoffs, which is to tell you that if we look at the standings today and if the math holds, we're only going to have 10, 11 of the teams of the 16 right now make the playoffs. I mean, it's not quite a coin flip. It's not 50-50. But the point is that would mean if we were to do the exercise, we'd have to go through and take 6 teams that are currently in the playoffs or 5 and take them out and say that they're not going to make the playoffs. All I'm saying, basically, it was too much math. It was
a lot of math.
There was no reason to dive into all this. And I've probably, everyone's ears are bleeding right now listening to me just spout all these numbers. They're like, we come to you guys because there is no math. That's why we usually hang out with CJ and Julian.
I want to know who's getting traded.
Exactly. I basically just want to say that whatever stats you see floated about, I think that they should be looked at a little more carefully. And if you look at them carefully and you call up the standings page of your choice today in the NHL, you should probably take 5 of the current playoff teams out, which means 5 of the teams that are on the outside looking in would have to go in, because historically that basically tells us what's going to happen. 5 to 6 of the teams currently in the playoffs should be out. And look, the standings are so packed. Like, I don't even want to do that exercise because I know where your brain's going. You're a great host. You're like, let's do that right now. Who's in, who's out? Let's get lots of content for the socials. I have no idea who's going to make the playoffs this year, other than, as I said, I'm pretty safe on Colorado and Dallas. But it's a strange season. And in fact, the stats that everyone trots out are actually much different than what you hear on your favorite TV broadcast at this time of year.
So I appreciate the fact that you keep saying, all right, Colorado, Dallas, those are the 2 teams out west, and you're focusing on that Western Conference, because the East right now, it's so tight between everybody. I mean, the top team in the Eastern Conference, 31 points with the New Jersey Devils, the fewest points from Buffalo. That's like a 9-point gap between these teams in the Eastern Conference. It's so difficult, I find. I wouldn't say to predict, but just the gap between all those teams is so small, I find. Well,
and how many teams are not playing like up to their level, right? Like I'm sure this is where we're going to go, because we always focus on where the fires are or where the smoke is billowing. But the other part of it is not just the points. To me, it's how many teams out there are happy with how they're playing. I mean, again, Colorado, pretty sure they're feeling good about themselves. Even Dallas has had some up and down skids. Now they come off a big win in Edmonton, kind of a statement type of win in the rematch of the Western Conference from the last few years, and then followed up with another win in Seattle. So they're feeling good on Thanksgiving morning as they prepare here for whatever turkey celebrations they got going. But I mean, the truth is Colorado is the only team that is really clicking. Now Tampa's come on a lot in the last week or two. I think they've won 5 straight games, so they've surged up, and now everyone's saying, "Oh, the Lightning." And look, the Lightning might be a good team. I'm not saying they're not, but there was definitely points early in the season. You're like, "What's going on here?" Some of their top players are not where you're accustomed to being. I think a big thing that's happened for the Lightning is Andrei Vasilevsky's game has really got going, and that's obviously helped them. He's been such a key part of their success over a huge amount of time. I guess the point is, it really, this is a reflect. I think this date, the reason this became a sort of trope in NHL circles, it is a natural time. Like it comes just a little past the quarter mark of the season, almost a third of the way through the season. Typically, it's a day. Look, there's not even one game on the NHL schedule today. It's the rare day of reflection. If you want to, on your team, if you're a general manager or front office, like it's like kind of a little point. But really the truth is, I just don't think there's many teams out there that fully know what they are yet. And there's teams that have been really good that have high expectations that have not played well at all. Edmonton and Toronto are two that jump right to mind. Again, it's not for me about the points in the standings. It's about the process. It's about what you're seeing. A team like the Leafs, they're 29th in goals against in the league at this point. They're 28th in power play. Like that's been a strength of theirs for a long time. And my point is their struggles are on. It's not just one thing. It's like right across the board. They've been around the bottom of the league. Now they also still have some dynamic players that have dynamic moments in winning them games. You can look on Wednesday and see what happened with William Nylander at the end of the game in Columbus. Perfect, easy example to point to. Edmonton, they don't feel like they've had almost a complete game all season. That's a team that has not ever been at their level, but they're still, hovering around that 500 mark. They still certainly kept themselves in it if they kick into that next gear and the next gear beyond that, which they've done the last few seasons. But, they're last in the league in team save percentage. You might have heard about that. might have sparked a few conversations at some point along the way for Oilers fans. And so this is just a mess. Trying to make sense of the big picture is almost impossible. Don't you feel?
Yeah, I absolutely feel that. Like, just even the teams at the top, right? Like, we know which teams are going to be. I think Colorado and Dallas, I like the idea of thinking, okay, they should be in the playoffs. My biggest question with Colorado is, can they be the best team in the league wire to wire, like what we saw Boston do with the incredible season they had a few years ago? And is that going to matter by the end of the season? Like, I think with the way the Avalanche have played, where Nathan McKinnon is at in the scoring race, the fact that their goaltending has stood out as well as it has, like, it's kind of funny. Maybe we kind of slept on them a little bit. We looked at all these other contending teams. We wondered, okay, is Florida and Edmonton, are we getting a round 3 of that in the Cup final? And then you have Colorado, who's only won one round since like 2022. And we saw the first round they had with Dallas last year was incredible. But like, I didn't see as many people peg them as like a team that could be the best team in the league. And here we are now. So I'm just curious at this point, with the way that they've been running 10 wins in a row at this point, can they sustain that for an entire season and be the best team in the league and still maintain that form in the playoffs?
It's going to be interesting to see them try. I mean,
I know
right now, I think there's two ways to answer that question. One is historically it's hard to do. It's just hard to be chugging along at that high a level, to stay motivated, to not have legs or lulls in your game. It's a long grinding season. Obviously the Avalanche are sending a bunch of players to the Olympics. So that's another thing on their plate that could impact their performance once we get deeper into the winter. But, just looking at the start of the year, like they're humming along at basically 60% of expected goals, Corsi, whatever you're looking at. I mean, they are trucking the league. Like this is not a nice run fueled by, say, just goaltending or even just
CJ. They average 4 goals a game.
Right.
They're really good,
but it's not just even hot shooting. Although there's a little bit of that in there. Like it's like they are winning thoroughly in the sort of underbelly of the game, and then obviously you're looking up at the scoreboard, and in the words of Macklin Celebrini as he left Denver on Wednesday, we got waxed tonight. And a few teams this year have been waxed by the Avalanche. But I mean, look, I think historically it does show it's going to be hard for them to keep humming along, to to just not have some complacency creep in. I know Nathan McKinnon is as driven of a player as the NHL has, but I mean, he's still human. At a certain point, if they're plus 46 goal differential already. I mean, it's
insane.
It's actually insane how well they've started in a year where almost nobody else truly has started well. The Stars deserve some flowers, and I'm not saying every team's been poor. It's been really hard to separate, right? And they are just clearly at the top of the league. But if they go and lose, it could be a round 2 matchup this year. We'd probably get Dallas, Colorado again, just with this playoff format. It's pretty safe to say when we're saying, or I'm saying, and I think you're agreeing, that those 2 teams are making the playoffs. Well, there's a good chance those 2 teams will play each other in the playoffs because of a playoff format I don't much prefer, but it's too early to rant about that again now. But if they lose to Dallas again, which could happen, right? It was a 7-game series last year. Colorado had a 3-goal lead in Game 7. But the point is if or 2-goal lead. Anyway, they blew a lead in Game 7. The point is if they lose in round 1, unfortunately, the way kind of hockey works, 6 months of great work can go up in smoke in 2 weeks. I mean, that's just the reality of how we tend to view these things. But all we can judge the 25-26 Avalanche are and what they have been, and nobody's even close to them right now.
There's another rant about a team.
So I apparently was pretty bright there, so I turned down some of the brightness. We're just getting the new camera work all set up, but it looks so much better. Jesse Blake is still here, and he's been here since 9 a.m. Man's just putting in hours. God bless Jesse Blake, everybody. Give him a big round of applause. Now, we've been talking about, somebody asked earlier, like, what about, what from like Euro soccer would you take and like to see the NHL adopt? A lot of people weighed in on this. And by the way, Noah Young said, if a player has no stick on an icing or the goalie is pulled, I say that player doesn't get to get a stick. I like that rule, by the way. I just wanted to shout that out because I thought that was a really good comment. Francois LaBelle, hey guys, details about the watch along poll. I really like the Jesse's Jays. Adam's settings are more intimate. It feels like watching with friends, but nothing beats Steve when the Habs beat the Leafs. Yo, there's nothing that's going to beat that. Francois LaBelle dropped 5 SDPN memberships. And Justin Fisher, as we come to a face-off here, you're in charge of Euro expansion. Pick 6 cities. Scott Lawton wins the face-off. So here we go. 6 cities: London, Paris, Stockholm, Helsinki, Berlin. Let me see here. And I got to think of a hockey country. You know what? Prague. Why not Prague? Why can't it be Prague? You need to have a Czech country in there. It seems a little unfair not to have Switzerland too, but you want to start with some big markets. And the one thing about the risk you'd have with London and Paris, I feel like, is they're not really hockey markets, right? But you do need the English and French language markets because that's what we have in North America. So there's a trade-off. But there's a lot of expats in those cities that are from North America, and there's 6 or 7 million people in both of them. So I feel like you'd have enough people. James Stemler, I was mentioning the fact that the NFL is monitoring the Concorde jet coming back, and it'll get you to Europe in about 3 hours. I was reading an article about it because as soon as it does, people are going to, North American sports leagues are going to expand into Europe. And James says multiple European countries banned the Concorde in their airspace because of the sonic booms that were causing a lot of problems and disturbances. I believe that these new ones, they're trying to avoid that. Morgan Riley just went to the box. So Morgan Riley's had a pretty eventful game. He was on the ice for the 25. There was Capital scored a goal 21 seconds in. It was disallowed. He was on the ice for it. What happened here? Oh, he's trying to play the puck. And then yeah, that's a penalty. I hate it. I'm coping. Ovechkin with a shot. He eats the Leafs alive, especially on the power play. I don't think anybody's got more career goals against the Leafs than Alexander Ovechkin. So we're going to have to watch out for him. The second half of that first period was a lot better than the first half of the first period. The Caps came out and ran the Leaf show, and yet somehow Morgan Rielly got a puck in on the Leafs' first shot. Scott Laughton had a breakaway a little bit later. Joseph Wells looked pretty strong. So we'll see how this one goes. The Leafs' PK has been really, really strong in the absence of Matthews and Nyes, which has kind of been nice because it means that coming back, they don't really need to be on the PK anymore. I think their focus should be on, scoring goals. Because one thing I know about the Leafs' depth is they're not that great at scoring goals. They can kill penalties, though. I think they've killed 14 of the last 15, which is pretty good. Corrupted 101. I think he's got Drew's burner account here. Adam, we need more coverage of the Avalanche on the podcast. Here's the thing with the Avs. They're not really a story in the sense that, they are unbelievable. But what makes something a story is usually when something goes extremely right or extremely wrong. And I've been playing with the thing of, are the Avs, they still have only one regulation loss, right, Drew? And they're 2-2 with Minnesota Wild in the third, so that might go up. But I got to tell you, man, the Avs they're my pick for the Cup. They've been my pick for the Cup since game one. They're an incredible team, and their defense is better. My wife Natalie says Everly and I are watching, and she loves the mustache. My wife hates the mustache. My daughter loves it. So I think I should defer to my daughter, right? Should I hang on to this after November? What do you think, Drew? What do you think? Should I keep the mustache? Comes Nyes and Matthews. End of the PK. Shot! Oh, Austin Matthews unable to put that one home, but a great opportunity. Nyes out front, scores! And a great setup by Austin Matthews to Matthew Nyes after a 2-on-1. See, Craig Berube does something pretty smart here. I know he hasn't got a lot of compliments lately, but you can put Nyes and Matthews out there at the end of a penalty kill because they're good at it. They're really good at it. And Matthews just misses on this. He intercepts the puck, gets it one-handed to Nyes, who flips over a really great pass. It was a good save there by Logan Thompson. We're just looking at the replay right now. Matthews gets it in the corner. Chychrun takes a run at him. Matthews basically breaks his ankles. Look at this deke. Look at this deke by Austin Matthews. Chychrun goes for the hit. Matthews sidesteps him, pass through two Caps players to Matthew Nyes, and Nyes puts a good shot on Austin Matthews. That is good to see. That is an all-star play right there, and we kind of need that, baby. Kind of need that. Listen, all the credit goes to Matthew Nyes there for making that shot. That interception, that pass, everything starts on the stick of Austin Matthews on that play. And if you're a Leaf fan, and I am, that feels good, doesn't it? Robert Bett 1133 says no commercial breaks during first period. Gary Bettman must have joined SDP VIP ad free. No kidding. 1651. What's that, Drew? Say it again. Oh, new live odds on the screen. Look at that. The Toronto Maple Leafs started this game, I think, at a plus 200, or no, is it plus 128? Now sitting at minus 435, and the Caps are at a plus 310. I still think, Joseph Wall, baby. He's still learning how to play that puck, and he is going to end up on the if you're a goaltender, 10 the goal Hall of Fame if he's not careful this season. But he got away with one there. The Washington Capitals are a very, very good hockey team, and the Toronto Maple Leafs took a little while to get warmed up in this game. I think those odds are pretty favorable to them, all things considered. By the way, sign up for Bally Sportsbook. We love Bally. Big shout out to them for sponsoring tonight's stream. Drew, are we doing final 20 here? Yeah, baby. We're going to do some final 20, and we'll make sure to drop the link in the chat. Dakota Joshua driving the net here. Final 20 is a lot of fun, and we're going to track how we do throughout. The Leafs are probably the least predictable team right now. They're looking better. And it's free to play. And Drew's threatening you. Oh, I think Benoit's going to the box on that one. That's a hooking call. This is where, so they did a great job killing the Morgan Rielly penalty. this kind of penalty trouble, when the Leafs were healthy at the beginning of the season, is what got them into trouble. And Berube hates the call. But, it's Matthews. I'm going to have another look at that. Matthews does no hook. It was actually Benoit. Matthews does not hook him at all. There is no hook. Literally no hook. Benoit should be going for the hook. If they simply looked at a replay, they could see that. Hey, Drew just said in my ear, Matthews lifted his stick. Okay, that's illegal. He had the puck, Drew. He's allowed to do that. Yeah, dude. That was a hookless call. Listen. It was Matthews or Benoit. I would have preferred Benoit go to the box for that, because Matthews is Matthews and Benoit is Benoit. Caps come in offside. This is where the Leafs run into trouble, because they tend to take penalties in bunches, and it just absolutely burns out your penalty kill crew. And the Leafs penalty kill, it's been one of their strengths, especially lately. It's really starting to click. But you gotta watch out for that, because people's legs burn and that they get tired and gassed, and then the guys that are sitting on the bench kind of fall out of the rhythm of the play. So it's something the Leafs have really still got to work on. Bad penalties. And Justin throws in the chat, the refs are having a bad night. Yeah, they sure are. Francois Labelle says, I was watching SDP between periods. I noticed you guys, the dangling legs above Steve. Did you guys lynch an elf? You'll have to talk to Jesse. He bought those decorations a few years ago. I think those legs that are dangling over the television are supposed to go on the front of your car or the back of your car. I can't tell. But they're on our screen. You can see that little Easter egg for you. Chychrun over to Ovechkin. And you can always tell it's Ovechkin by the color of his laces. Big save there by Joseph Wall. How many times has Alexander Ovechkin scored on the Leafs from exactly that spot throughout the course of his career? Drew, does Ovi have 60 goals on the Leafs yet? Are we able to look that up? It's something close to that. It's like a crazy number. It's an embarrassing number. Now, you got to remember, for the first 10 years of Alexander, 45 goals in the regular season in 61 games. 45 goals in 61 games. That's insane. That's an MVP season against the Toronto Maple Leafs alone. You got to remember, though, the Leafs had been pretty darn bad the first part of Ovi's career. Oh, we got a broken stick or a lost stick on the ice. Caps are not able to keep the puck in. 47 seconds left to go. Oh. $36 seconds to go. Ovechkin line is going to stay out there, as you would imagine. Leafs have got to, must stop taking penalties after this. Do not let the Caps into this game. Beauvillier, down low, back to Beauvillier. To the point, to Carlson, to Ovechkin, to Beauvillier. With a big save there is Joseph Wall. He had body position on that the whole way. There's that U.S. system of the way they train the goalies in the U.S., I think, is probably right now the best system. You look at the American goaltending recently, and they've just been amazing, just pumping out studs. Joseph Wall is a product of that system. And you just see how excellent his body positioning is at all times. And now listen, nothing against Anthony Beauvillier. He's not exactly known to have like an Ovechkin type shot, but very little for him to really shoot at there unless he totally picks a corner, which it looks like he tried to pick the far corner. It hit Joseph Wall on the right shoulder. $15 seconds to go. Leafs had a strong second half of the first period. Then they had a strong first half of the second period with a goal. And it looks like they're going to kill this Auston Matthews penalty. And if you're just tuning in, it shouldn't have been a penalty on Auston. It should have been a penalty on Simon Benoit. But, it's a fast game. Oh, puck is given away. Auston Matthews might get a rare breakaway here. No, not quite. Fast break. Wasn't able to corral the puck. Auston barely gets breakaways. Not part of his game. But he had a great setup tonight to Matthew Knies. And I told you, that line needs a goal. They got one, and that had to feel pretty damn good. They're out there with Robertson, who I think is probably, Matthews' back pass is to nobody. I got to think that our good friend Nicholas Robertson is begging for one tonight. Second line for the Leafs out there. Mermis. Pass up to Cowan. Puck in deep. Oh, Berube is going to love that. Leafs have not done enough of that lately. Just puck in deep. Simple. What do they call it? North-south. McMahon on the blue line, pushing the puck in past Tom Wilson. That puck is given to John Tavares. Oh, and it goes off a Caps defenseman. It looks like Roy. Excuse me. That's Matt Roy. We have a Waugh on the Leafs and a Roy on the Capitals. And somehow, some way, Thompson's able to make that play. What's that, Drew? Say it again. Wow. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this. With that assist, Auston Matthews is now the 5th highest scoring Leaf ever. I believe he still has to pass Mitch Marner. Am I wrong on that, Drew? I think, yeah. Drew's like, I think he's like 100 points behind him. He might be, because he's missed a lot of hockey. But that's pretty amazing. Auston Matthews moving into the top 5. He's only, I think he's at goal, 405? Oh, that point past Marner. Oh, okay. You know what? That's nuts, because Auston has missed a lot more hockey than Mitch has. So that's quite the 10 less games to get there. That's great. Damn. And Emo Jalapeno, let's go. Wahoo. Habs are up 3-0 over Vegas in the third. Hey, Francois, how's our friend Mitch looking? It's been a rough go for the Vegas Golden Knights. They've got a lot of points, but if you look at their OTLs, they have 7 of them already. Calgary, I think, had 17 a couple years ago. 17 overtime losses, and I think they missed the playoffs by just a little bit. And yeah, those loser points, man. I'm not so sure. Alex9269 says, God, I leave for 1 hour. And what do you mean we have a 2-goal lead? Feels like it hasn't been like that since last season. I believe I read a stat today, and it might have been Luke Fox. I hope I'm quoting this properly. The Leafs have, this is how bad it's been. If you're a Caps fan, you can just laugh at this. The Leafs have yet to score the first goal and lead all game all season. Not once have they done that. If they have scored first, which has been rare, the other team's tied it up, maybe taken the lead, and then the Leafs have taken the lead back and scored and won. But the Leafs have not led from their first goal all the way through a game all season long. That's weird in hockey. So it is producer Hayden versus producer Drew in overtime, by the way, with the Wylde and Avs. I believe that game's knotted up at 2. Though, here's the thing. I give the Avs the edge in overtime. I know the Wylde have, an absolute killer. You think they suck in OT? Drew, they suck in OT? Really? They got 5 OT. Oh, my God. So the thing with the Avs, you'd think that they would be great because of their skating. And the Wylde are a slower team. They really are. But I don't know. We'll see. The Minnesota Wylde have very quietly put together an 8-1-1 record in their last 10. Is that good? They had a bad start. Doesn't matter now. Stetcher to McMahon at the point. Shot. It does get through. Tavares is unable to get free of Trevor Van Riemsdyk and get a stick on it. But a nice little floater pass in. Oh, there's a hook there. Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman brought down. I believe that was Troy Stetcher, but no call. All right. Stetcher gets brought down again. He falls on the puck. Boy. I don't know. Troy Stetcher probably could have drawn 2 penalties there. And it wasn't because, look at him. Like Leonard I guess that was more of a puck battle. But before that, Stetcher had tried to make a play in the defensive zone to interrupt a Capitals rush and had been brought down and there was no call. Listen, I understand missing calls, but you can't tell me that at this point of the game, the Washington Capitals haven't done something that's a little over the line. Like the Leafs have not had a power play yet. Chychrun with a shot, Wall with a save. Troy Stetcher, new to the Leafs, somehow ended up on waivers from the Edmonton Oilers. And I say somehow because it's not like Edmonton's defense has been that great. But man, what an addition he's been to the Leafs. And maybe that speaks to how poor the Leafs defense has been. Also, they missed Chris Tanev, but still, it was not a great start for them. Having a guy that low in the lineup who can play 12 to 14, well, I guess 15 to 16 minutes a night, but can actually wheel and move a puck. The difference between him and Philippe Myers has been astounding. Absolutely astounding. And when Chris Tanev comes back, you have to think it's not Troy Stecher that comes out. I think it's going to be Dakota Mermis. I don't know when Tanev's going to be back. There's no timeline on that. And even if there was a timeline, the Leafs don't share that stuff publicly, which is annoying. Leafs, by the way, are without William Nylander tonight. They have looked really good in a shot. Nick Robertson absolutely fired that one into the sun, but a great setup by Austin Matthews. Seems to be getting his game back, digging around in the corners. Woo! Adrian says, you mean Troy Stecher as in Troy Stecher of the NHL Troy Stecher? That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. He's looked good. Cole says, I'm an Oilers fan, so I truly do wish him well. Yeah, he's been a great fit on the Leafs. Maybe just not the right fit for the Oilers. What do you guys think of that potential? It's Kevin Weeks talked about it yesterday. Freege has mentioned it. CJ's mentioned it. Tristan Jarry potentially. Oh, Nick Robertson's going to take a faceoff here. Shut up, Adam. Let's watch Nick Robertson try to take a faceoff against Strome, and he beats him. Hey, all right. Riley gets the puck down low. OEL pinching. Matthews covering. Riley, puck gets out, but Riley is able to grab it, throws the puck around. Nyes is able to get it. Backhand pass to Robertson, and he's kind of tied up with Matthews at the blue line. So the potential trade apparently is going to be Tristan Jarry, who's been very, very good for the Pittsburgh Penguins this year. He's only played 8 games, though. Artur Shilovs is the starter for Pittsburgh. Like, he's the number one. So if Pittsburgh ends up getting out from under that Jarry deal, I wonder if it's going to include some sort of Matthews tripped up at his own blue line, by the way. There, no call. Probably just an accidental. Wow. Shot out of thin air by Alexei Protas. Joseph Wall is able to cover that one up, but that was like a nice baseball shot. Yeah, so the potential deal, like what they're throwing out there, Jarry and Skinner would sort of be the centerpieces of it, so they'd be flipping teams. Pittsburgh would get, I think Stuart Skinner probably needs a change of scenery. So Pittsburgh gets a guy that's been to the Cup final 2 years in a row as the starter. You don't hate that as a platoon goalie. Edmonton gets a goalie who's revived his game. And you got to remember, Tristan Jarry was an all-star at one point. He has talent. It's just between the ears. And the other part of this that I think is interesting is, does Edmonton try to sneak a defenseman out of there? Is there a defenseman available on Pittsburgh, not named Erik Karlsson, because I feel like that's way too much money for the Oilers to take on? People have thought maybe, is it Parker Witherspoon? Is it Ryan Graves? That's an expensive deal and for a long time, but could he use a change of scenery? I don't know. It's a really, really interesting thought. I feel like the Binnington rumors might have been premature because everything that I've heard, the Binnington-Edmonton rumors might be premature, is that Edmonton and St. Louis aren't exactly interested in doing business with each other right now because Doug Armstrong and Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman aren't exactly the best of friends after Doug Armstrong RFA'd 2 of their guys. I don't know. I think that's salty. It might be, I don't know if it's going to be Graves. I know everybody's like Graves, LMAO. I don't know. Like, I don't know who Pittsburgh gives up on the defensive side, but we know Edmonton wants a goalie. They actually probably want to. They probably want to replicate what the Avalanche did last year, who completely redid both of their goaltenders before Christmas. And look at how well it's working out. Like, Scott Wedgwood, career backup, is now on the 35-man extended roster for Team Canada. Like, that's crazy, man. Sometimes it just takes the right scenario. Cool man Lanny dropping in. Chat, are we finally cooking? I'm a little sick. I can't yell it the way I normally would. Cool man Lanny, we love you. Yeah, chat's cooking. We're up. Robert Bett said someone should come up with some sort of pool for the refs as to which ones make the worst calls. Yeah. I mean, I don't think any gambling partner of the NHL would be allowed to do that because they don't want to make a mockery. But there's plenty of gambling companies that are not partners with the NHL that could do that. Why not? I don't even know how you would qualify bad calls, though. Like, you'd have to find some sort of definitive way to do it. Otherwise, gamblers are going to be like, yeah, I don't know. Francois LaBelle saying, hey, almost 800 viewers and only 250 likes. What's this? Agreed. Can I get some likes in the chat, please? Let's go, Gripper Nation. I know a lot of people are tuning in late because most of you haven't got home yet. It's an early game. Although outside, I mean, it might as well be 8:30. It's only 6:19. We had a commercial-free first period because of all the icings and penalties. So TSN is backlogging all their commercials, I'm assuming. It was the fastest first period I've ever experienced. 9:40 left in the second. This has been fast-moving as well, at least with a goal this period. Austin Matthews and Matthew Nyes. It was a great play. If they play it again at intermission, guys, you got to watch this one. Starts off the stick of Matthews. It's the end of a penalty kill. Gets it up to Nyes, 2-on-1. Matthews gets it into the corner in the cap zone. Jake Chikrin took a run at him, tried to get him off the puck, and Matthews just sidestepped him. Got the puck out front to Matthew Nyes, and bang, it was in the back of the net. And Logan Thompson even hopped afterwards like he thought he had it, and he just missed it. Former Leaf Rasmus Sandin with the puck behind the net. He's got TVR, Trevor Van Riemsdyk with him. Davey says, Adam says, I don't know how you'd qualify bad calls. Also, Adam, we should replace refs with robots. Well, we should. I think those are two separate things, Davey. I think what I'm saying is in a gambling context, for instance, if you're betting on shots, you got to make sure that the shots are accurate. So you got to have some sort of defined way to go, that's a bad call and that's a good call. And that's a little bit more subjective. Robert Bett, is Henry Thrun still with the Marlies and is he close? I don't think they're going to give Henry Thrun a shot this year. If they were going to, the chance to do that would have been, would have been the last couple of weeks. I think they want to see him develop a little bit more with the Marlies. Apparently he and Will Villeneuve are having great seasons down there. I was surprised Villeneuve didn't get a call up. Also worth mentioning, Marshall Rafai should be back. Nice little setup there, by the way. Easton Cowan to John Tavares. Cowan intercepts it. Look at this shot. Oh, he just missed the net. Two great opportunities created by Easton Cowan there. You could see why Craig Berube liked this guy so much. Couple of weeks down with the Marlies, and they call him right back up, and man, he is an NHLer. Mermis now, 2-on-1. Ovi. Strome didn't shoot. He had Joseph Wylde down, but could not find an angle that he liked, and he did not even shoot on that 2-on-1. It was a great setup by Alexander Ovechkin through the stick and skates of Dakota Mermis. Oh, the Capitals miss a beautiful opportunity there. And a little bit of credit to Joseph Wylde, too. Great body positioning on that. There it is again. His side-to-side, man. Joe Wall knows his posts. McCabe to Cowan. Cowan across. Tries to get across the red line. Not able to do it. Capitals stop him up. Leafs need a change here. Caps taking advantage. Oh, and that shot just went over the shoulder of Joseph Wall, who did not see it. He was down early. If he'd picked the corner, Connor McMichael, that is, that would have been in. He's had some opportunities today. And you could see Cowan is just sucking wind out there, and the Caps mess up their own offensive zone opportunity. It gets past Faravari. Leafs are going to be able to change their forwards and defense. Riley at least is out there. McCabe has been out there a long time. Robertson, Matthews, Nyes out there as well. You know the Leafs' legs are burning. Oh, another great rebound opportunity. Tom Wilson this time. I don't know if that went wide or what. Wilson with a shot in front of the net, and they finally put one in. That's a goal. Connor McMichael, I think that's his third beauty opportunity of the game, finally puts one in. The Leafs just got hemmed. McMichael, I think, has had 4 or 5 great opportunities. Look at this Ovi setup. They're going to go to the 2-on-1 here. Great setup. And that's to Strome, by the way. That just does not go in because he doesn't shoot. And what happens here? The Leafs are just a bit of a tire fire again in their own zone, which has been a problem for them. Yeah, just not able to clear a rebound. Nothing Joseph Woll can do about that. Oh, man. Viz says the downfall has begun. And the SDPN account says, if you ask me, I say boo. Well, fair. This is the Wah Michelli Dakota Joshua line, who we're expecting something out of. Two guys that really have just not clicked. I've really liked Nick Wah's game with the Leafs since he's been here. That's a icing by the Capitals. Have not loved Joshua's or Michelli's. And by the way, I think Dakota Joshua is a good hockey player. I don't know what they're going to need to get something out of him. Line's been okay tonight. I don't think they've done anything spectacular. Oh, so Riley is just not able to get that puck away. Sorry, what's that, Drew? New odds are on the screen, by the way. Minus 220 for the Leafs, plus 270 for the Caps. Man, I don't know. That Caps comeback sure feels like it could happen unless Joseph Woll stands on his head. Leafs have had good moments in this game, not sustained enough, but there have been chances. There have been chances. Their offense needs a little bit of time. William Nylander's obviously not here. Robertson gets the puck back to the defenseman. That's Stetcher and Oliver Ekman-Larsson out there. A bit of an odd pairing. But I think Craig Berube likes what Troy Stetcher's been doing, and Stetcher is going to be one-on-one here with Protas, and a big save by Joe Woll, and he gets the puck out. Ref whistles it dead. It was the very tall Alexi Protas versus the very short Troy Stetcher, and hey, Stetcher was able to catch up. Marchand just scored. 1-goal lead for the Flames. Florida, by the way, coming back. The Flames were up, I think. Were the Flames not up 3-0, Drew, at one point? Yeah, and now it's 3-2. That's the thing, man. Those Panthers. Oh, it's 4-3. Well, they don't quit, man. They don't quit. Hayden Matheson. Stats God Hayden has a question for producer Drew. Ask Drew to host an Avs. Ask Drew how the Avs game went. Uh-oh. What happened, Drew? Hayden says, Drew says to Hayden, be happy that you won the skills competition because shootouts are BS. The Minnesota Wild have beaten the Colorado Avalanche. It is worth noting the Avalanche still only have one regulation loss, but I think that's their 7th or 8th overtime loss. Am I wrong on that, Drew? 6th? It's their first loss in 11 games. What does that bring the are the Wild still 8-1-1 in their last 10? Because they were 8-1-1 in their last 10 this morning. Unreal. Two good teams, man. I hope the Leafs follow the Minnesota Wild to, hey, we started bad, but now we're great territory. That'd be nice. This is crazy. In their last 10 games, the Minnesota Wild have not lost in regulation. They are 9-0-1. The West is just back to being murderers. It kind of tilted east there for a few years. Panthers, Lightning, you snuck in there with an Avs and a Vegas Cup, but the better teams were clearly in the East. And I think, for the majority of the 2010s, the better teams were clearly in the West. Chicago, Los Angeles, St. Louis had great teams. San Jose had great teams. And Colorado obviously came on late in the 2010s as well. I think it's tilt Western Conference again, folks. What's up, Drew? So the Avs, Stars, and Wild in their last 10 games, 9-0-1 for the Avs, 8-1-1 for the Stars, and 9-0-1, 7-game winning streak for your Minnesota Wild. That is unflippin' believable. Wow. It's times like these, I'm glad the Leafs are not in any of those divisions. Holy smokes. Bailey says it's the Great Wall of Sweden. Yeah, that's right. Wallstead and Gustafsson for Minnesota have been phenomenal in November. I don't know what their numbers are now, but I think Wallstead started the month 5-0-0. Like, I don't know, man. That doesn't get much better than that. Joe, who is clearly a member of Gripper Nation, says, I'm expecting Giggling Cat to check in from Sunrise. That would be Cat the Cats fan. Did they tie that game up yet? Not yet. Still 4-3 Calgary. Extensions, by the way, handed out to all of their upper management today. Don Maloney, Dave Nonis, and Craig Conroy. Craig Conroy, I think, deserves it. I think he deserves it just because he's got to deal with the ownership there and potentially the president. Michelli with an opportunity. Floats the puck in. It's down low. Waugh and Roy in the corner going after it. And we got a race for icing here. Dakota Mervis is going to beat Anthony Beauvillier, who's got some wheels. NCL says, is it Wall or Wool? Well, recently it's been both, but it is Wool. Joseph Wool. Sometimes I mispronounce it, but you know who I'm talking about. Did the Ducks tie up that game against the Kings? LOL. Did they, Drew? Are the Ducks and Kings tied? Oh, baby. I'm telling you, man. The Ducks are going to be good for a long, long time. I don't know if there are any Flyers fans in the chat tonight, but I got to tell you, that Cutter Gauthier deal is looking worse and worse and worse. I think he's got 28 or 29 points in 24 games. If he hasn't scored tonight, that guy is a rock star. People are like, well, he wouldn't have reported. Okay, then just tell him to sit at home then. We won't pay you. He would have reported eventually. He didn't want to play for Tortorella. And by the way, weirdly enough, nobody did. And they fired him. Cutter Gauthier, by the way, would have given the Flyers the one thing they don't have this year, which is goal scoring. It's like Trevor Zegras and nobody else. But, he's a bad guy. Doesn't want to play for the Flyers. Bad guy. I also want to say I think the Ducks are freaking awesome. They're a fun team to watch. Whoa! Nice save by Joseph Woll on the post. Matthews line out there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ekman Larson gets the puck up to Stetcher. Stetcher dumps the puck in. It doesn't actually make it past. I think he hit John Carlson. That probably didn't feel very good for John Carlson. Oh, big save by Joseph Woll through traffic. And there's another rebound there. Leafs are actually able to clear that one. It's been a problem for them all season, and a little bit of that in this game. The reason Connor McMichael scored a few minutes ago was because Leafs couldn't kill the rebound. McCabe gets the puck up past center to Nyes. Puck is stripped. Caps reload. Leafs change, or at least partial. Michelli line is trying to get out there. It's Waugh, and Robertson's still got to change. Waugh, Michelli out there waiting for Dakota Joshua, but the Leafs are hemmed. And this kind of happens sometimes when our good buddy Nick Robertson is in there. I got to give him credit. He never stops. But on defense, dude, there's still work to be done there. He's always in position, but he always ends up hemmed. I don't know how this works. 2:10 left in the second period. Shots are 22-10. Ice is definitely tipping in the Caps' favor. Leafs have had their chances. But, great cross ice pass and a rebound. And Joseph Woll is there. He read that perfectly. The Leafs have had their chances, but a lot of those opportunities that they probably would have had to even up the shot count disappeared when they took a couple of not great penalties at the beginning of the second period. Shot out front. No question the Caps have been the better team in this game, but the Leafs, again, like I said, they've had their chance. Oh, you think they hit the crossbar, Drew? So, yeah, maybe they didn't. Maybe Wool didn't make that save. Yeah, Caps coming perilously close. I think the Leafs are going to have to come out with some energy and keep their damn sticks down to start the third period here. 1:23 left in the second. Second period, by the way, has been the Leafs' Achilles heel. And they've had, if the Leafs had 40 legs, they'd have 39 Achilles heels. But the biggest Achilles heel is the second period. For whatever reason, I mean, it was their best period every game last year. They were the best, like, second period team in the NHL. For whatever reason, this year it's been horrible. Wow. Joe Wall making great saves. Habs are now up 4-1 against Vegas. Uh-oh. Or is Las Vegas being? I think Vegas needs some goaltending. Like, as much as it's, you don't mind your ex having a bad time in their new relationship. You don't mind. But at the end of the day, like, Vegas is a good hockey team, and they've had some injuries. Aiden Hill's not playing. When Carter Hart gets in there, I would imagine that things get corrected. 6 questions. Lent says, Landeskog scored a goal tonight. Great to see. It looks like he is also going to be captain for Team Sweden. So, the feel-good vibes continue. I know he's not been perfect since he's been back. I mean, he did miss 1,000 days. 42 seconds left in the game. But, I mean, just the fact that he's playing at all is incredible. By the way, apparently the chat's just ripping the food takes. I guess it is dinner time. 6:35 right now. This is one of the fastest hockey games I've ever seen. I can't believe this. Leafs up. You don't think it's going fast, Drew? Over at 7:30? Okay, all right. Maybe it just feels fast. Maybe we're just having a good time. Maybe I love the new camera setup that Jesse gave me, and the fact that I don't have to carry a microphone around anymore. I love these headphones. They're great. Drew said, "Did you get yourself dinner?" No, I did not. I'm hungry. I got to eat something. I'll be honest though. I'm one of those. I got one of those things. I'm not going to get too into the details, but I got one of those stomach things going on right now that Steve had last week. Mine's a little less bad than his was, but it's weird because I have cramps, and then I also have like a weird semi-sore throat and a little bit of congestion. I don't know what's going on. I slept for 2 straight hours this afternoon, and when I'm sick, I can always tell I'm sick because I snore really loud. And midway through my nap, I woke myself up snoring. Like that, you got to be snoring loud to do that. Drew says you're showing your age. I know. The thing is too, like, obviously I've put on a little bit of weight in the last 5 years. You put on weight, you're going to snore more. I'm trying to lose some of it, and so I haven't snored as much, which is nice. But like, I got to tell you, it's when you're sick in your late 30s, it's so much different from being sick in your 20s. I used to go get up for breakfast television, do that show, like be totally sick, and then do the Kiss afternoon show with Jesse from 3 to 7, and then Jesse and I would wait for Steve to show up, and we would do the Steve Dangle podcast from like 7:30 to 9:30, and then I'd go home for 10 and do it all over again. And I would do that with a cold. Now, man, I'm such a baby. Like the slightest thing's off, and I'm like, oh, I can't handle it. Anyway, if I'm doing a great job tonight, you can call it my Michael Jordan flu game. If I'm not doing a great job, we'll just forget. Pagan says Buffalo makes me sick. I don't know what's going on in that game. I know we're gonna go to break here. Drew, can we just do an update on the Buffalo score? Are they playing? Oh, we're doing a final 20 now? Yeah, let's do final 20. Hell yeah! So everybody, we got it's a Bally Bet Friday night stream. So we're gonna do our final 20. It's free to play, and we're gonna sort of try to predict what happens in the third period here, and we're gonna see how well we do. I actually did pretty good the last time we did this. I think I called the first shot of the period and first goal of the period and that sort of thing. I'm pretty confident in my picks, which is weird for me because I'm usually wrong. So get signed up right now, final20.ballybet.com. You can click on it. Like I said, it's free to play. And we're going toe-to-toe, you and me. By the way, there's a big prize for this. Drew, do we not have a $400 SDPN gift card for this? $100 for the winner. Oh, it's a $300 Fanatics gift card to get your own NHL jersey. Woo-hoo! Oh, baby. And when what gets a $100 gift card? And so sign up. It's free to play. $300 gift card to get your own NHL jersey. $100 gift card for the person who gets in the second place for the SDPN store. Come on, baby. Let's go. Get yourself a jersey, and also the $400 gift card pool. So if you play all these and you win the pool, you get a $400 SDPN gift card. Listen, I'm ready. I'm ready, Drew. Let's get into it.
Working for one another, and
First.
obviously you got Ovi on that side. And
All right, pick a Maple Leaf player to score at least 1 point in the third period. I think Austin Matthews had a really good game. I'm going to say William Nylander probably won't because he's not playing. I'm going to go Austin Matthews on this one. I think he's having a good game tonight. He set up the second goal for the Leafs. I'm just going to go easy. Why make it complicated? It's Thanksgiving. All right? Next one. Pick the first Leafs player to record a shot in the third. I'm going to go a little crazy on this one. I don't think it's going to be Matthews. I think it is going to be Nicholas Robertson because he's looking like he wants to stay in that top six, and he's playing with Matthews and Nyes. He's going to get opportunities, and he fired an absolute cannon in the second period, but he missed. All right, number 3, Drew. Pick the first team to record a shot in the third. Maple Leafs or Caps? I'm going Caps. And they're out shooting them 23-10. I think that's an easy one. And number 4 here, will the Maple Leafs score in the first 10 minutes? Yes, because I'm positive. I'm Craig Berube, glass half full, baby. Let's go. How many total shots in the third period? So the Caps are averaging at about 11 shots a period, 11 and a half shots a period. Leafs are averaging about 5. I think the Leafs are going to have a better period. I'm going to say there's going to be 24 shots in the third period. That's the tie break. 24. I think it's going to be freewheeling. There's not been a lot of and here are my answers. Again, Maple Leafs to record at least 1 point in the third period. That's Austin Matthews. Pick a player to record a shot in the third period. The first Maple Leafs player, Nick Robertson for me. First team to get a shot in the third period, that'd be the Washington Capitals, I think. And will the Maple Leafs score in the first 10 minutes? Hell yes, they will. And the tiebreaker, of course, is predict the exact number of shots between both teams in the third period. I'm saying 24. It's been a really sort of freewheeling game. Not been like Columbus and Toronto were really annoyed with each other on Wednesday night. They've seen a lot of each other in the last week. Washington's not that kind of a team. And Toronto can be, but they're not. It's not a chippy game. So I think there's going to be a lot of openness. I think the Caps are going to have to cheat a little bit to score, which means it'll allow the Leafs to grab maybe some opportunities they wouldn't have had. So that's what I'm at. Now, listen, sign up right now. You can play it right now. You didn't have to just play along with me. You can play it right now. The link is in the description, and the link is actually in the chat as well with Bally Bet. Remember, you win tonight, $300 gift card to get your jersey, wherever you're from. We wanted to make sure that we didn't want to be like, well, here's a Leafs jersey. You might be a fan of not the Caps and not the Leafs. So we wanted you to be able to pick whatever jersey you wanted. So there you go, $300. And by the way, the second place person is going to get a $100 gift card to the SDPN store. And there is a pool. So if you play this tonight with me, tomorrow with Steve, and for the rest of the season, every Saturday night, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday game, I believe we have Bally's. You are going to be in this pool. You win the pool. It's a $400 SDPN gift card because we want you to be outfitted in the coolest swag. So I'm going to take a quick break here. I am going to, full disclosure, blow my nose. And Drew, what clip are we playing? Oh, this is whether or not the Canucks should blow it up. It is important that you know that they did send out a memo going, we're willing to listen on veteran players. I think Kiefer Sherwood gets traded here soon. That guy rocks. So is it time? I'll see you at the beginning of the third period.
So what do we think about Jim Rutherford sending out a memo to NHL teams saying there are veteran forwards available on the Vancouver Canucks currently? Now, Rick Dollywall of Donnie and Dolly in Vancouver drilled down on this a little bit more, and it seems like the Evander Kane experience in Vancouver is almost over. He's got 5 to 6 goals in his last 50 to 60 games. And remember, they had to move guys out to bring that salary in. Kiefer Sherwood is on fire. And
he's great.
He's been great. And he's a forward that's a UFA that makes less than $2 million. But
is he?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a UFA, makes less than $2 million, and he's had the start that he's had, and he's a monster.
Oh, my God.
Here's the thing, though. Balancing that, you have Jim Rutherford talking about Quinn Hughes and his agent, what the Canucks want. The Canucks are like, well, we know what we want. And he's like, Quinn knows what we want, but, people make decisions.
Oh, dear.
And, I'm hearing, I've seen some Vancouver shows today say that anybody around Quinn right now is saying he's committed to Vancouver, doesn't want to go anywhere. But as we know, if Vancouver starts trading too many vets, we're in a retool scenario. And does Quinn want that? And so I'm curious to curious to know what you guys think about the Vancouver Canucks currently. I want to reiterate that on Monday I mentioned 2 seasons ago they had Miller, Horvat, and Elias Pettersson down the middle. They now have one of those guys, and he's the least performing one. Well, actually, no. He's actually been better than Miller this year.
He's doing better than Miller. Horvat's going off.
Horvat's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Horvat was traded because he didn't get along with Miller too? Like, was that what? There was a fight there. That was
the rumor. With Vancouver, there are a lot of rumors about what goes on in the room and not a ton confirmed.
So if you're Quinn Hughes and you look at that roster 2 years ago that took Edmonton, eventual Stanley Cup finalist, to 7 games, I swear to God, if Brock Besser had been playing in Game 7, they might have won.
That's a big what if.
You look at that roster and you go, look at that compared to what I have today. This is the same management group. We've now lost our head coach, who I really loved, Rick Tocchet, who didn't want to be there. It wasn't that they fired Rick Tocchet. Rick Tocchet was just like, no, I don't think so. I'm curious about how this all plays out. How does Vancouver, Jesse and Steve, spin this mini sell-off if it is in fact happening? I mean, he sent out the damn memo. How do they spin this into a good thing for Quinn Hughes and keeping him around long-term?
Lying, if you want the literal answer.
Okay. I mean,
lie.
Like winning trades. Is it what do you do here? Because Evander Kane can't have a ton of value. Kiefer Sherwood definitely would, but I would have questions about Kiefer Sherwood outside of the system he's playing in. Is he going to be able to replicate that on another team?
He was a crazy hitter in Nashville, and then I think he just got a better opportunity, continued to be a crazy hitter, and scored more goals, right? So I think that's a pretty repeatable skill that he could do pretty much anywhere. That's exactly the kind of guy NHL GMs will line up to overpay for. And you better hope someone overpays for him because everyone else has no moves. You're screwed. Right? I don't see them being in rebuild territory though. This has been the frustrating thing with the Canucks for the last half decade plus is I don't think they've ever been bad enough or even close to bad enough to really consider a full-blown rebuild. They've had the talent. Listen to the guys you just mentioned, Horvat, Miller, and Pettersson. And I'm not even sure they made the playoffs every year with those guys. I don't think they did.
Look at the list of injuries. Heedle's out, Forbert's out, Holander's out, Bluger's
let's
out.
back up and do this slowly because
okay.
I have something to say.
Philip Heedle is out.
That's the free space.
He's always out.
When the Flyers got Ryan Ellis, what did I say? I was like, I feel horrible for the guy that he got hurt again, but as of late, the thing he does most in his career is get hurt. Philip Heedle didn't ask to be crushed a couple times, but
he's prone.
This happens. This guy who doesn't play a full season in the NHL is not playing a full season in the NHL, and now we're without. And we just lost Pius Suter, which was a pretty big loss for us. Yeah, man, that's poor planning. This was always going to happen.
Forbert.
Okay.
Höglander.
Okay. Well, that's a guy you wanted to pitch out the door anyway.
Bluger.
That hurts.
Demko and Lankinen.
Yeah, that's devastating.
And you don't have Archer Seelovs backing them up anymore.
Completely devastating. Yeah,
That's tough.
that's bad.
So I'm just like, listen, if he's saying this,
Who the hell's in net?
who is in net? I'll give you the names in just a second.
I know Lankinen's gone personal reasons. You can't
Tolopilo
control.
and Patera.
You could do worse. Like, I don't know. In terms of third stringers, you could do worse.
But you've got some of the guys I look at this roster and I'm like, well, there's some value here, right? Like there's good players. And you know, I know Alan was tweeting this weekend about I think there was a reference to Philip Hronek made, and he was like, he's got a no move, guys. He's not waiving it. Right?
Right.
Now you can have guys waive no move clauses. I just don't get the sense that Hronek is. I think Alan tweeted that. I didn't even ask Alan, but I'm making the assumption. Tyler Myers is a name.
Yeah.
Teams would sign up for a gigantic right shot tree, right?
You gotta preface it with that's a name.
That's a name.
It's probably not the best.
Yeah. Okay, there, Pierre Dorian.
There's the other Elias Pettersson, the Elias Nils Pettersson, who is a left shot defenseman on your bottom pair.
I think they got to trade him enough. I'm sick of there being two on the same team. That's the only reason, by the way. He's a fine player.
Could Connor Garland's name be out there? Like, I'm trying to think, like, if they're going to talk about, is David Kampf on the trading block? Like, you know, like, if this is what they're really going to do, Besser just signed to stay. Pettersson's locked in. I have a hard time thinking they would trade Jake DeBrusk because that was a big get for that organization.
Yeah.
So that leaves Kane, Garland, Kiefer Sherwood, Drew O'Connor. Like, who are you moving?
I mean, Sherwood's
that's the free
if you
space.
want to, I think you have two missions here because you don't got to pitch everyone out the door.
Yep.
And the hockey world spends an inordinate amount of time talking about the guys the Canucks are going to trade and then they don't.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I think there's two things you got to do if you're going to accept that this is a retool year. Get Kane out the door somehow. Maximize what you get for Sherwood. Everything else beyond that, I don't know. Don't get shitty value to get a guy to waive his no move. If you get good value, fine. Right? Your team won the Calder Cup last year. I'm sure you could, graduate guys around the edges. Don't go selling the farm, though. I don't think they're in that position.
Okay. I'm confused at what they're trying to do. I don't know what they want. Jesse,
I have no idea.
I think that's where I think the conversation should go with the Vancouver Canucks is the confusion of what they're supposed to do and the fact that I don't think Francesco Aquilini is a great owner. I think he's meddling in every single part of this organization. Bleacher Report, it's actually like on his Wikipedia page. I was reading about him yesterday. On his Wikipedia page is a Bleacher Report article where he's listed as one of the 7 most meddling owners in pro sports. He's on this list with like Dolan and Jerry Jones, which I think is appropriate for him to be put in
all
that.
pro sports.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in North American pro sports, he's one of 7 on that list. And I think it's appropriate because you look at the way he runs this team and how much he's involved and what from the top down to the players, how much chaos there has been within the Vancouver Canucks.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I think that also bleeds into Jim Rutherford and how he's run this team. Because you look at Jim Rutherford, he's been there since the end of 2021. What has he done other than had a really good 24 season where everything worked? In that 24 season, they got 51 starts out of Thatcher Demko. That's probably never going to happen again, just based on Thatcher Demko's track record.
As soon as he signed that deal, I was like, are you sure?
All these players played 80 games or more for the Canucks. Hoglander, Garland, Hronek, Besser, Pettersson, Hughes, and Miller.
Damn.
Extremely healthy. They win the division. They have a good 24 season. They beat up on a Nashville team that we now know are Paper Tigers, and they lose to the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games.
I don't know about beat up. Nashville outshot them most nights, right?
They won.
Adam had to stream that godforsaken series. That's why I looked at it.
It was the worst.
Adam hated it.
And yes, I think Nashville somehow did, but the Canucks would win like 3-0 on 12 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they were like Carolina, but bad.
Yeah, and Nashville couldn't score. They just had no finish.
So they have that really good 24. Outside of that, Jim Rutherford's been there for a couple seasons. In those seasons, he's missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we look at how the organization has been run since he's been there. It's been chaos from the players in the locker room to on the ice and everything. I don't trust the Aquilinis or Rutherford to right this ship. And I don't think the decisions that they're going to make here are going to move this franchise forward, because in the long term, I don't trust these guys to put this franchise in a good position to win.
I'll stick up for Rutherford.
Producer Drew just said in my ears, he's like, at least better wake up this period, otherwise they're going to blow this. And I was like, man, that should be printed on the wall in Scotiabank Arena. That's been their brand. A little more this year than we'd like, but there have been good moments in this game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I thought Austin Matthews has looked really, really good. It feels, listen, Domi is sitting. Michelli and Joshua are in. I haven't seen anything from them that's made me feel anything better about their games, to be honest with you. And I know Domi needed to sit, but I do feel like that Austin Matthews line is missing a distributor. And I liked Domi's game against Columbus. It's the giveaways for him. He had a terrible giveaway against Columbus. And I think Berube finally is like, okay, that's enough. You're going to take a seat. So he's healthy tonight. I think he'll be playing tomorrow. And I hope he's back with the Matthews line. It's nothing against Nick Robertson, but I just don't know that, like with Nyes' style, I don't know that Matthews is getting enough pucks. And Matthews has looked really, really good tonight, but he's been the distributor, right? So I hope when Domi comes back, he's a little bit smarter. By the way, Vegas has officially lost to the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal's on a bit of a roll again. They had a bit of a weird middle November, but now they're back on. They beat the Leafs last weekend. Vegas tonight. Mitch Marner get a point? Anybody? That's from Garrett. Francois Labelle, I said, is ordering dinner. Should I go for 1, buttered chicken with garlic rice, 2, sushi, or 3, a smash burger with routine, or 4, Portuguese chicken rice bowl? Ooh, these are good choices. You know what? I'm going to go with, I'm feeling sushi tonight. And I'm sick, and I'm feeling sushi tonight. But Drew says you're always feeling effing sushi. That's true. Joshua line out there, by the way. Pay particular attention to these guys. If they want to continue to be Toronto Maple Leafs, I think this is where we're at with Joshua and Michelli. You better start showing it now, because Nylander and Domi are probably back tomorrow night. Domi at least for sure. Oh, here we go. Shot. Terrible giveaway by the Leafs defense there. I think that was Simon Benoit. If you guys can't get it together and show some sort of identity, the Leafs have got to make some changes here. And I get the sense that them being scratched, you get a few more games to figure this out. And then I'll be honest, versus Columbus, I did not miss Michelli and I did not miss Joshua. Not one bit. Not one bit. And I also, by the way, for our Bally bet final 20, Capitals did get the first shot of the second period. Now, I did say the Leafs are going to get the first goal. And I also said I think Nick Robertson was going to get the goal. It was a bold pick. Oh, you think? Oh, I said Nick Robertson would get the first shot. Well, there he is on the ice. Who did I say would score? Matthews, right? Yeah. Matthews to get a point. Okay. Well, hopefully he scores. Caps just got the second shot of the period. Robert Bet 11 telling me that the Ducks just beat the Kings in a shootout. Now, according to producer Drew, that's not a real win. It's worth noting. He calls it a skills competition, but his team lost in the shootout tonight to the Minnesota Wild. The Colorado Avalanche are just a monster, but so were the Minnesota Wild, and so were the Dallas Stars. I'm loving the Ducks play, by the way. I've never felt more good about a pick I've made, and damn, they're a fun team to watch. Leo Carlson, man. Get yourself a Leo Carlson jersey. If only the Ducks jerseys weren't among the ugliest in the NHL. I don't like those orange jerseys one bit. I saw them in person last season in San Jose. We were there. But dude, wow. That's a hell of a team. McMahon driving to the net. Sandin pushes him off. Easton Cowan. This line has looked pretty good. McMahon, Cowan, and Tavares. Listen, the Leafs are always going to miss a guy like Nylander when he's out, but look at this. Tavares, McMahon, out front to Cowan, and Logan Thompson covers it. Good offensive zone pressure. Listen, it's tough not to have your best player this season in the lineup. but he's not here. And the Leafs are still managing to get something going. I'm not saying it's been a perfect game. It has not been. But make it happen. Also, Berube hockey is getting shelled, relying on hot goaltending and picking your spots. And that is how the Leafs beat the Blue Jackets. Hopefully, they can do the same here with the Caps. Caps have been pouring it on. 16:55 left in the third period. Lisa Mo says, those Ducks jerseys are hideous, but who cares if you're winning? It's true. Drew asks a really good question. That's a monster. I think I know my answer, but what would you as a Leaf fan like more? The Leafs making the playoffs or Vegas missing the playoffs? Well, I can tell you what's more likely, which is the Leafs not making the playoffs. But I'm going to say Leafs making the playoffs. I want the Leafs to make the playoffs and do well, always and forever. And I'm not salty enough as an ex of Mitch Marner. That's how I'm going to describe ourselves, all of us in Leafs Nation, to be like, man, I hope he misses the playoffs. I want Vegas to make the playoffs. I want them to see what we saw. No, Drew said, I do. Drew doesn't believe me. Okay. I want to see if it was really the Toronto Maple Leafs that were holding Mitch Marner back all these years in the playoffs, or if it's the style of game that he plays, which is a perimeter player who picks his spots. And that works in the regular season. But against teams like Boston, Tampa, didn't work versus Columbus, didn't work versus Montreal. Big shot there by Protas, misses the net. Yeah, I'd like to see if, hey, Mitch, different team. Do you think can you get it done? I actually do want them to make the playoffs, but I want them to play like the Avalanche or the Dallas Stars. Like, play a real opponent. Shots are 25-12. Woo! Well, the Leafs have had some shots. I don't know if Robertson got the first one. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, they don't have a shot yet this period. Oh, okay. Wow, that's bad. Joshua, Watt, and Michelli. Let's pay particular attention to this line. Let's see if they can get anything going. To me, it's been a whole lot of nothing. Oh, but a nice play there to McCabe, who fumbles it. Joshua able to get that puck back. He's got Nick Watt down low behind the net. Watt gets it. Michelli supports. Pass to the point was tipped away. Leafs able to corral. And they turn it over to the Capitals in the neutral zone, something they've been doing all night. Something the Leafs are going to have to focus on as they get healthier, and hopefully they can remain healthy. Neutral zone play. It's kind of nuts how when they try to get in, and obviously you're going to get stopped up in the neutral zone sometimes, but watch. They consistently give it to the other team, and the other team has no problem, boom, making a zone entry right away. It's annoying to watch. Look at Rasmus Sandin there. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter what line it is. It doesn't always be. It's not even like their most talented guys. It's every single team is able to do this with every single line. Ovechkin with a shot. Oh, big setup by Sandin to Ovechkin, and I think that hit a stick and went out. I'm not in the arena, so it's hard to know. But Ovi had just powered up. By the way, I have to tell you, look at where Ovi's Captain C is. It's right next to the logo. And I just have to ask, why do they have to be on the same shoulder? Because his C is in a really weird spot. Why don't you move the ad over on the jersey to the other side and then just put the captain on it? Does it have to be that annoying? I don't know. Maybe that's just me being weird. I just feel like it doesn't need to be that way. You know, do ads really even why can't ads be on like the top of the shoulder? You still see that, right? It could be anywhere else. Just I understand some people are not fans of ads on jerseys. It makes the NHL a bunch of money. The players don't mind because they're making money too off of it. Fine. But like, don't put them on the same side of the jersey. It's so weird. Ian says, I would never want to stand in front of an Ovi shot. Yeah, no kidding. That would be pain. I wonder how many bones he's broken over the course of his career from people blocking his shots. Vanish says, Canucks lose to the Sharks 3-2. Worst reffing I've ever seen. Unsportsmanlike on Quinn Hughes for arguing a no call. Tolopilo gloved save and a San Jose goal. Yeah. Modern Argonauts agrees it was awful reffing both ways. Listen, it's not been a great week for refereeing in the NHL. I don't know if it ever is like they never get like a 5-star week. I just don't think that the way that the game is reffed is good. And I think most fans would agree. But there have been some very poorly reffed games this week. I don't understand why. I haven't seen Quinn Hughes getting unsportsmanlike. Obviously, we've been focused on this game, but that's a murder. And the thing is, the Canucks are trying so hard to make it happen. It doesn't seem like, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know that they've had the talent that they used to, right? Like, without Miller and without Horvat and all the guys that they've lost, I don't know. And obviously, Demko being consistently hurt. Every year you can rely on Thatcher Demko to be hurt, which is a shame because when he's at his best, he's amazing. I just don't know that Pettersson playing better, which he has been, is going to be enough. Hedl, I think anybody before they made that JT Miller trade, anybody could have told you Phil Hedl is a guy that's prone to injury. I'm confused as to why they wanted him. I don't understand it. Like, I know he's got, he had a high ceiling talent when he was drafted and whatever, but how many concussions before a guy goes, before you say, you know what, that's a risk we just can't take. You got to play. You got to play. Okay. 13:59 left to go. Leafs looking to put this a little out of reach. They're going to want a goal here. First line versus first. No, is it? No, it's not. No, it's not. I thought it was Strom out there. It is not. Matthews line out there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. People are making Triple H jokes in the chat. Listen, I'm still grabbing money for Movember. If you guys have a couple extra bucks, we would love it if you would donate. We're trying to beat Michael Pizzetta, who was $1,000 ahead of us, but you guys have come in the clutch. Matthews with a shot. Man, I need him to score here. I need a goal for Matthews. He's had a great game so far. Actually making stuff happening. Robertson out to OEL at the point. Shot through. Rebound. Matthews. Oh, he almost gets it. Grabs it out of thin air. I thought that puck was under Logan Thompson. It was not. Bounced over the net. So, yeah, anyway, Movember, try to help us beat Michael Pizzetta. So we can shove it in Michael Pizzetta's face. Actually, he was great. You should check out the interview with him this week. He just seems like a great guy. .05 left in the third. Shots are 25-15. The Leafs have actually put some shots in the net. Hallelujah. Praise be. Under his eye. People will get that joke, I think, if you've watched the show that I think that you've watched. Easton Cowan breaks. Oh, no, that's Michelli. 53 and 63. It's hard to know the difference. I guess Michelli's got the hair hanging out. This line, again, has been super, I don't know, nothing. Ryan Leonard with a shot. Dakota Joshua was not able to intercept that passing lane. I don't think they're going to keep this line together. I don't think this line's got it. Somebody in the chat, Habs Nuck, says, how's Joseph Woll looked? Outstanding. He's been awesome tonight. I don't think this Michelli Joshua pairing is working. I don't know that these guys are going to stick around very long. Domi's going to be back in tomorrow. Nylander, hopefully, he's back in tomorrow. He's got an illness. They made sure to say it was an illness. It's hard for me to imagine that that those two guys are not the guys to come out. Because that fourth line looks good. Yarncroke, Lawton, and Lorentz. What do? Watch them right now. Usually, hopefully on this shift too, they play solid defense. They get the puck up. They create opportunities. Here's a 2-on-1. Lawton! Oh, and that puck is bouncing. Yarncroke couldn't get a stick on it. And what they need to do when they're 5-on-5, the only thing they need to do is create an offensive zone faceoff. That's the only job. They created an opportunity there. Tavares is out, along with McMahon. I haven't loved McMahon with Waugh either. But, could you see a scenario where maybe you keep the top 6 the same and you have Nylander, Waugh, McMahon. I don't know. Try something. Maybe Nylander can drive his own line. 11:38 left in the third. Sandin to Ovechkin. Oh, and that puck is intercepted, and here comes John Tavares on a breakaway, and it is gloved by Logan Thompson. A great read by John Tavares, a great read, and an even better save by Logan Thompson, Canadian Olympic hopeful. Drew says that right-handed glove messes with people all the time. It does. It's hard. He could have pulled backhand there, but I think he made the right call. Get your offensive zone face-off, even if Matthews' line is going to come out there. Do what you can. He had two guys, wow, Sandin and Ovechkin had no chance in catching him. And Tavares, as we know, is not the most fleet of foot. Good save by Thompson to keep them in the game. He's a good goalie, man. And the Matthews line is, of course, out there. OEL from the point slaps it into the corner. Leafs unable to get possession. Out it comes Protas through the neutral zone. OEL down low to Morgan Riley. Nyes gets it, brings it back into the Leaf zone. No defense there behind the net to get it. OEL fires the puck out, but I think it hit the glass. Thank God. Last thing we need is a puck over glass penalty. Robar says, Adam, if you can guess the amount of change in my pocket, I'll donate to Movember. All right, I'm going to use my psychic skills. Okay, I'm going to guess that you have 67 cents, 67, and also 1967 because of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to guess you have 67 cents, and I think you're doing it to troll me. That's what I think is going on. Robar, donate those 67 cents to Movember. Tyson says Robertson looks so much better when he's put in the top 6. I know. That's why, listen, I know Nylander and Tavares and Cowan are really good, but could Nylander drive his own line? Oh, big save by Joseph Wall on a slap shot. I think that was Alexander Ovechkin. 10:52 left in the third. Leafs have got to hang on here. Try to get a goal. Lorentz, Lawton, and Yarncroke out there again. 2-22 means McCabe and Benoit for the Leafs. Solid defense pairing. Benoit's looked much, much better since being repaired with Jake McCabe. They played a lot of the 23-24 season together and, gave Sheldon Keefe an option. Sheldon Keefe was the coach at the time. Gave him an option for an actual defensive pair he could put out there. Francois LaBelle with the food update. I went with buttered chicken, as well as a new thing for me, chicken lollipops. Oh, listen, as a guy who likes to eat chicken lollipops, you will love. Good call. I'm starving, by the way. I haven't eaten since breakfast. I am hungry. Adriana says, real men grow nostril hair and not mustaches. Well, my wife loves to point out my nostril hair to me when it gets a little long. Also, big save. Oh, no, that was a rebound. And I'm also starting to get, this is weird, right? Thank God for Manscaped. Ear hair? Why am I getting ear hair? I didn't need ear hair before. Why do I need it now at 37? This is insane. By the way, welcoming all the new viewers to the chat. We started off a little low today because game started at 5. People weren't done work yet. They weren't home. So welcome. Caps have dominated a good chunk of this game. Leafs have had their chances, and they look better. I have to say this. We're grading on a curve with the Leafs because they've been so bad. But now I feel like I'm getting the Leafs. Third line for the Toronto Maple Leafs today: Michelli, Joshua, and Waugh. No bueno. Not that they've been bad, but they haven't done anything. You could tell that they're trying. But with Domi and Nylander likely back in the lineup tomorrow night, Nylander's out with an illness. Domi got a healthy scratch. I thought he had played a great game against Columbus, but he had a pretty nasty giveaway there. And, that can't happen if you're going to be in top 6 minutes. So hopefully he's back on the Matthews line, although I got to say Robertson's looked pretty good there too. Craig Berube's got some decisions to make, but I don't think Michelli or Joshua are playing tomorrow night. If it's me, I'm not playing them. Somebody in the chat said, Ian said, nipple hair greater than mustaches. I got a little of that too. Not so much, though. Chest hair, yes. Nipple hair, not so much. Henderson Goldbreath says, nostril hair nation? No, it's still gripper nation. Still gripper nation. We got to keep that nostril hair under control. 8:52 left in the third. Wadline out there tried to find Michelli, and that is going to be an icing call. And that is not great because that third line for the Leafs is pooped. And by the way, there have just not been a ton of commercial breaks for TSN here, and they can't go. I know they got to go to one here, and they can't. Not on an icing. I don't know why that's a rule, but that is a rule. Oh, it's because the players are tired. Yeah, I can't rest the player. New live odds on the screen, by the way. Leafs are minus 480 to win. Washington a plus 330. I think that's a solid bet if you're going Caps. Because listen, Joseph Wall has been phenomenal, but there's only so much he can do. And I'm asking you, I'm begging you, what do the Leafs need to do to get a power play? Because they have not got a single power play in this game. That's right. Washington has been perfect this entire game. I don't know what the Leafs did to the referees, but they are not getting calls at all this year. At all. Insider J Money, damn, this Leaf team is so bad. Matvei Michkov is so much better than everyone else in this game. Hey, man, I know you're a Flyers fan. How's Cutter Gauthier doing? Should I look up his stats and read them out live? Man, no, I bet I bet you're cool with Jamie Drysdale. I bet you're cool. I bet it's great. And there's another icing for the Leafs. Oh, my God. They're getting into trouble here. Oh, man. Somebody says, can you smell after nose hair is waxed? Who gets their nose hair waxed? I trim it. That sounds like it would be awful. I'd have tears in my eyes. Man, this wall line has been, Nick Waugh has been out for 1:40. Michelli's been out 1:30. Ekman Larson 1:32. This is the kind of play that gets you benched. If they allow a goal here, you're getting scratched. And finally, Wall is able to cover that puck. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, TSN is finally able to go to a commercial break, and the Leafs are be able to take that third line off the ice. If they can help it, probably they don't see another shift. Maybe Nick Waugh does. I'm not seeing anything from Dakota Joshua and Matthias Michelli that makes me think that they should be in for Nylander and Domi tomorrow. I was wrong in my Bally bet final 20 prediction. I did say the Leafs would score in the first 10 minutes. I'm sorry I let you down. I did get Caps getting the first shot, though. What else do we have there, Drew? 24 shots in this period, and it's not even close to that. Yeah. Oh, well. James Stemler, Chief has been very pissy with the refs. Is that perhaps why? Maybe. I think he's pissy with the refs. By the way, that means the Leafs are not getting any penalties. Maybe the reason Chief's mad at the refs is because they're objectively missing calls. Like you guys saw, I'm sure a lot of you were here for the stream on Wednesday night when Dakota Mermis basically got tackled and headlocked, and there was no call there either. No call. I don't know. It's weird. Drew is about to tell me where the Leafs rank in power play opportunities. I think it's like 27th or lower. It's got to be. Drew, what is it? 27th exactly. Fart. And here's the thing. If it was just this year, I'd be like, okay, well, it's just the way things have gone. They also have no offensive zone cycles, which is usually where you draw penalties because the Leafs have not been good. But every single year of the Matthews era, I'm pretty sure, except for one, they've been less than 15th in power play opportunities. And I'm pretty sure the highest they ever got was 12th. The Kyle Dubas Pittsburgh Penguins are last in power play opportunities. Only 52, Drew, you said, this season? 51. So they're averaging less than 2 power plays a game. And that's a team with Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson, that's a good power play team. The Oilers only have one more than the Leafs in 2 more games? What? Oh my God. Frazier says, can we get Adam to perform a song from his band? No, you cannot. Although I do look like a Backstreet Boy tonight. And this is Jesse set this up for me, camera and everything. So it's we're gonna look a little cleaner and crisper from now on. How cool is that? 7:30 left in the third. Washington has not taken a penalty. I would bet money. I don't know if Bally Bet offers this, but I would bet money right now, and I would bet a lot of it, that the Caps are not going to go to the box this entire game. I don't think it's going to happen. It's too close of a game. The refs are going to game manage this. It's Thanksgiving in the nation's capital down there. No chance the Caps get a penalty this game. No chance. Alex 92 says, what are we doing tonight, Brian? Same thing we do every... Oh, Brain. What are we doing tonight, Blaine? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to get the chat to hit that like button. Yeah, I got to get better about reminding people, too. The more likes we get, there it is. Cap score. And it's Anthony Beauvillier on a cross-ice pass. Great play. Great play. It was coming. It was coming eventually. All right, now I'm going to change my thing. Now the Caps could take a penalty. Now that they've tied the game, the refs will be more open to the Caps getting a penalty. R. Bruce says Toronto's also 28th in power play percentage, which doesn't help. Yeah, well. Pickleball Pat says, I can get nose and ear hair wax at the barber. It's great. Buddy, nose hair wax sounds like I would probably cry. It's got to hurt. Man, that's annoying. Leafs have not, the thing is that I got to say the first 2 lines for the Leafs have looked good. I haven't hated the fourth line. The third line has just given them nothing tonight. Nothing. What's up, Drew? Now the Leafs are underdogs, which they probably should be to win this game. What is it, Drew? Plus 106 to win the game. And what are the Caps? Minus 134. You can get that at Bally Bet. It is the Bally Bet Friday night SDPN stream. 32-15 are the shots. If this isn't Berube hockey, I don't know what is. Listen, I want Chris Tanev back as much as the next guy, but this team, they're going to need to make a move. This is just like, Matthews and Nyes being back is great. Waugh being back is great. These bets have not turned out. They have not. I would even take Quillen back for his speed. Put him on the wing. Yeah. You're just not going to win a lot of games scoring with 15 shots on Logan Thompson, who's going to be an Olympic goaltender, unless Team Canada loses their mind. Logan Thompson should be on that team. I don't know, man. It's a problem. It's a problem. And Chris Tanev does not solve this, by the way. This is a bad third line that does nothing. This is a team that's kind of slow. And it is a question that you got to have for Berube. Why can't you generate chances? And by the way, everybody's talking about deployment of Matthews and Waugh and like, a lot of defensive zone faceoffs. Yeah, because when are they in the offensive zone? The reason the D zone faceoffs are so much is because they're never in the O zone. Ever. Thank goodness they got some game-breaking talent. Like Matthews and Nyes and Tavares and Nylander, great talented players on their own. They can score. It saved the Leafs. The Leafs have no offensive zone cycle. Never. Their offensive zone pressure just doesn't exist. Now, doesn't mean they can't win, but you're going to need some juice in those legs. There's no Nylander tonight. You're going to have to get somebody else to be the hero. So here's the question. Okay? This is for the chat right now. Who scores the next goal? I'm not saying it's the winning goal. Who scores the next goal? Is it a Cap or is it a Leaf? And who gets it? Give me a name. We're going to commercial here. I want to read some names out. All right, here we go. Heather says, my bad on the ref joke last game. Don't worry about it, Heather. The reffing is not improved. So Emo Jalapeno says Cowboy Easton Cowan. Next goal, Justin Sordiff. Matvey Mitchkov scores it from Insider J Money. Did he score today? He's on my fantasy team. I need him to score. Tom Wilson, Alexander Ovechkin. Alexander Ovechkin has 45 goals in 61 games against the Leafs. I would not be shocked at all. Heather the Avs fan, Heather the Leafs fan, Heather the S fan dropping 10 SDPN memberships. Heather, you rock. Ryan Leonard for the Caps says Burek Demir. Jason says Cowan. Cowan's had a good game. JT, Cowan, Protus. By the way, Heather dropping 10 SDPN memberships. I should mention that means that you are getting an extra SDP episode every single week. And it's where we talk about things outside of hockey. It's something we used to do on the show all the time, but we just sort of became like, it used to be like the first hour was hockey and the next hour was everything else. And then people started demanding more hockey and we got away from that a little bit. So it's a little bit more pop culture and it's awesome. The VIP episodes are just awesome. And then if you want to, consider becoming a SDP VIP ad-free member. You can be a monthly member at $4.99 a month, get the extra episode. You can be an ad-free member at $6.99 a month, and you get every single episode early. Now, you can do this on Spotify. You can do it on Apple. You can do it on YouTube. And if you buy the Apple one-year plan, you actually get a discount on it. But $6.99 a month, and you get yourself all the episodes earlier than everybody else and ad-free for as long as you hold your subscription. So, Heather, thank you for dropping those subs into the chat. Everybody that got one, please give Heather a big thank you. And enjoy your next 30 days. Consider upgrading to a monthly subscription. Here we go. Lorentz in. Oh, Lawton. Wow, with a shot. Oh, my goodness. It's like a weird combo of the best parts of the third and fourth lines here, and they create an opportunity. Yes, Drew, what's up? You want me to pick the next goal scorer? I'm going to say Alexi Protas for the Caps, and I'm going to say for the Leafs, I like the Easton Cowan pick. I'm going Easton Cowan as well. 4:37 left. Scott Lawton, who was making a change there, made a really smart play. The Leafs would have iced the puck, but he just got a stick on it, and then he went for a change, and here comes John Tavares in. Bobby McMahon across. 4:20 left in the third period. McMahon is all over Ryan Leonard. No call, thank goodness. I don't think the refs could call one on the Leafs at this point. You got to manage these games, you know. I don't think Washington's going to take a penalty again. I'm back to thinking that they're not. I think the opportunity for them to get a penalty was between minutes 6 and 4, and now we're at 3:58. I don't think so. And a goal. Who was it? It was Jake Chychrun. Man, I got to say, the Leafs have just been giving it up, man. Jake Chychrun that's an unbelievable play and a crazy shot. Leafs have led all of this game until the last 5 minutes, and they almost scored. Scott Lawton had a great opportunity on Logan Thompson, and then Jake Chychrun with an absolute bomb from the point. Joseph Wylde, there's only so much this guy can do. There's only so many times he can bail you out, and Duhaime loses a glove, and cross-ice pass, and it was just a great shot by Chychrun. 10 goals this season. He leads the NHL, man. He's been great. You believe they picked him up for a third-round pick? It's insane. What's that, Drew? Drew saying the cross-ice passes on the Leafs are so open all the time. It's insane. And, here's the thing. They didn't allow those last year. This is what drives me crazy about the Leafs this year is they never allowed that shit last year. And it makes me flipping crazy, the systems that they're playing. Like, look, what are they doing? No one picks up Chychrun. I think Stetcher tried to get him there. Probably should have been a forward on him. But, it's just the passing lanes are wide open with Toronto. As soon as teams figure that out, it's over. And they usually figure it out by the beginning of the first period. It's right away. Tire fire. And you know what? When you've only got 3 lines that are relatively okay good, because the third line's been just nothing tonight, you're not going to win. Not against a good team like this. Bad defensive coverage, which it leads to a ton of shots against, which means it leads to an exhausted goalie. And you know what? Joe Woll's got an over 900 save percentage tonight. And the problem ain't the goalie. But I think you guys know that. By the way, welcome to all the sickos who have now joined it. Leafs down 3-2. So naturally, 300 more people have joined to watch the game. Maybe they'll get a comeback goal here and you'll all leave. Insider J Money, hot take. I think Jake Chychrun scores tonight. You know what? Spicy. Here comes, Jake McCabe missed high. Ugh. Put it on the net, Jake. Put it on the net. Third line for the Leafs out there, but it's Lawton with Joshua and Waugh. I'm assuming because they're either midway through a change or Berube is just straight up done with Michelli, which from what I've heard, he's not a fan. Yeah, I think Michelli's just taking a seat. Matthews out there with Easton Cowan now. Lines in a blender. So it's Cowan, Nyes, and Matthews, and there's a giveaway. Here we go. They try to get the puck over to Ovechkin. That was Strome and Ovechkin, but the Leafs are actually able to break that one up. Nyes passes the puck to flipping nobody. 33-17 of the shots. Scoring chances are just so tilted in the Caps' favor. I can only imagine what the deserve to win-o-meter looks like right now. I think Michelli's got to sit again. I think Domi and Nylander are playing tomorrow, assuming Nylander's healthy. So it is, the Leafs have pulled their goalie, and it is an icing. 6-on-5. Drew's making fun of me because the Leafs were up 2-0 in this game, and he said, you did say that the Capitals plus 400 to win this game was a good bet. I'm looking like Nostradamus right now. There is a timeout for Washington here. I don't know if they need one. I don't know. Listen, I respect that Spencer Carberry's just going to take it, but I don't know. The Leafs have done nothing in the third. Nothing. And, you're asking people, it's Thanksgiving in the States. What are we thankful for? Leafs defense being horrible. Oh, Michelli's out there. Wow, I can't believe Michelli's on the ice. There's no way Michelli's in the top 6. What? Are we serious? Drew's like, they have no bodies. But, dude, Michelli? No, he's getting back on the bench. That's what I thought. He's done. He's done for the night. I think Berube's done there too. I don't think this is going to work. I understand what they were doing with trying out getting Michelli, like you needed puck movers down low, down in the lineup, but nope. Find someone else. All right, here we go. Tavares to take the face-off. It's Watt, Nyes, Matthews, OEL. Is Cowan not out there? Is it OEL or Riley? I wouldn't mind if it was either of them. They both played well tonight. Drew's just asking me who's getting the empty netter. Is it Ovechkin? Salt in the wound. Or maybe Rasmus Sandin. So it's Matthews, Riley, Cowan, Tavares, Waugh, and Nyes. Good that Cowan's out there. He deserves to be. One of the lone bright spots for the Leafs this year in terms of surprises. I wasn't sure he'd make the team. It's nice to see him be as good as he's been. Riley keeps the puck in at the blue line. 1:14 left in the third. Leafs running out of time. Riley. Back to Matthews. Matthews carries it across center. Dumps the puck in. Waugh on the other side. 2 Caps all over him. Caps regain it. Shoot it. Nyes is able to stop it. Tavares is going to get a shot. I think that puck goes wide. And it might be Ovi with the empty netter here. Ovechkin. Oh, and it's stopped by Austin Matthews. Thank goodness for that. 45 seconds to go. It was looking like a good prediction there, Drew. Cowan does not get the puck low. Loses the... Oh, no. Defenseman loses the stick. Nyes with the shot and a huge save by Logan Thompson. Shades of Patrick Waugh and Marty Brodeur in the 90s. A gigantic glove save. Great opportunity for Nyes to get his second of the night, but Logan Thompson with that right-handed weird glove with a great save over the shoulder. Great play by Cowan there, too. Wow. That could have saved the game right there. Leafs trying to push to overtime. They don't deserve it. I'll be honest. They don't deserve it. 32.6 seconds to go. Tavares is going to take this face-off. Matthews and Riley looking at the point. Tavares unable to make that play. And here comes the Capitals. Wilson tied up, gives the puck up. Matthews going to carry that puck across center. Cowan low. Capitals retrieve. There's 13, 12, 11 seconds to go. Leafs are going to need to get this out. Caps just trying to rag it, just trying to hold it against it. 5 seconds to go. No play out front. Tom Wilson shoots it down, and he scores. And that's a 4-2 Washington Capitals win with 1.3 seconds to go. I don't think that we need to take the face-off. I think that we can just call it a night. Man, Leafs had a 2-0 lead. They had a 2-1 lead coming into this period, and they did diddly squat. I have bigger words for it. I have saltier words for it. But I'm afraid because it's 7:34 that there might be some children watching. Rusty Mitchell says they kept forgetting the top left is his glove side. Yep. Ryu says the Leafs are who we thought they were. No kidding. Flat out, not good enough. Not good enough. And I don't know that William Nylander, Max Domi, and Chris Tanev being in the lineup would help this. This is just not good enough, man. Joseph Woll deserves another steak dinner. He's been unbelievable. You got to think Dennis Hildeby's going to play tomorrow night, by the way. Woll's got to get a break here. But damn. The Toronto Maple Leafs are just flat out terrible on their own end. There's just no other way to describe it. You know, you see time and time again, the Leafs carrying the puck across center, Capitals able to stop them before they reach their own blue line, and then they reload and they're back in. And what's annoying about the way the Toronto Maple Leafs play hockey is they seem to yield the blue line, their own blue line, like it's nothing. And they cannot get the puck to their forwards. I listen, Jesse Blake asked the question a couple of shows ago, if this road trip goes bad, is Berube still the coach at the end of it? I don't know. Listen, maybe you don't fire Berube, but I don't know that Derek Lalonde can be. I just, whatever it is they're doing on defense, the team isn't that different from last year. It isn't. Like, you've lost Marner. I'm sorry, but did the entire defense corps forget how to make house league style plays? It's not working, man. Whatever it is they're trying, it doesn't work. And Drew's asking me if I'm ordering my Gavin McKenna jersey before or after the draft lottery this year. Mr. Coolan says Marner also fed the Ducks their OT winner. Let's not act like Marner fixes everything. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. So did Marner have a giveaway in that game? Another bad one? It's not been a great start for him there. Oh, same one. It was the 3 days ago one. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're also playing Marner on the left side, which I don't think he's ever played on. Yeah, honestly, the Leafs got away with one early in the first period here. You know, they were going to be down 1-0, 21 seconds into that flipping game. At a certain point, with the team getting healthier, you got to understand that this team doesn't have it. Like, Watch Medicine just said, hey, who's more disappointing, the Panthers or the Leafs? Here's what the thing with the Panthers. The Panthers are on the injury reserve, and they've never had a full healthy team this year. The Leafs have. And you know what? They played like shit out of the gate. They were terrible when they were all supposedly healthy. You know, obviously they had the injury bug bite them after that, but like, it's not like they were putting in great efforts. Carlo was bad. Tanev got injured early. Like, it was not good, man. And Carlo coming back eventually, like, he finally is skating. He's probably a week or two away. Tanev, I have no idea. I don't know, man. If you're not going to fire Berube, I think you need a different look on this defense. You know, does John Tortorella want to be a defensive coach? It's so frustrating to watch. And I don't know what fixes it other than a systems change. And the Leafs play defense like Detroit did the last couple of years with Derek Lalonde at the helm. I hate to say it, Lalonde, from all accounts, is a good guy. I'm not trying to say that he's a bad person, but I am saying that I'm just about done with his defense coaching. It's laughable defense. Row Live 95 says Lawton is 0 for 50 on breakaways as a Leaf. I know, man. He does get them. He's a smart player. I love Scott Lawton. Anyway, listen, I want to say this. It's Friday night. It's Thanksgiving. And I want to say to you, our American friends, happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening with your family or avoiding your family, whatever the case may be. Enjoy your football this weekend. Big shout out to producer Drew and Justin. Producer Drew ran the stream tonight. Justin Fisher was in the chat. Love you guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, you bunch of sickos. Coming in at the end of the stream, we had like 500 concurrents in the first period. And then by the third, we're up to 1,500 here. Like, this is crazy. Just want to say it was a real blast hanging out with everybody today. Steve Dangle will have a Bally Bet SDPN Saturday night stream tomorrow. Will Domi be back? I think so. Will Nylander be back? I hope so. They're saying it's an illness, not an injury. Maybe Chris Tanev, too. He has been practicing. And I got to think Dennis Hildeby gets the start. It was a blast hanging out with you guys. As sad as the result is, it's very Leafs this season. But we love you, Gripper Nation. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week.